getting like a meal. Or I was like, God, it picked me actually.
Yeah.
But then along the line, when I went, I didn't go directly into it. I still kind of like, thank God, I still kind of like slowed down. I
Okay.
was hyped about it. I was very
Okay.
much interested. I was like,
Okay.
my service will be sweet.
Mm.
So, but I slowed down. I asked, and then I found out that it's not the first time this kind of thing is happening. It's not the
Okay.
first time this kind of thing is being
Yeah.
heard or spoken about. There are other platforms. It's kind of like these scam and stuff.
Mm.
But their own was so looking so real in the form that they sent us. It was a conference. I
Okay.
went. It was a conference. It was in a hotel somewhere in Ikeja, owned by Reverend Sisters. So it is a hotel. I think it's a very well-known hotel.
Okay.
So the thing was, but I reasoned it. Are these people expecting me to kind of like put the 70,000 I should be saving into this thing,
Mm.
and then expecting me to kind of like wait for that 1 million, and then from it, it's not just like it comes instantly. From it, you start getting extra jobs, because when they tell you about this thing, they say it to you as if it just comes like that. You don't have, but when you do your researches on your findings, you find out that you you come, you have to bring up people, and those people have to bring up people, and it keeps
Oh, it's
going
always a chain.
on and on and on and on.
Okay.
And then this kind of thing, they give you promises and promises which are kind of like unbelievable.
That can be true.
So that's kind of like the red flag that I saw, and I was like, no, I can't do this. And I came back and I got back to myself, and I didn't do it. Yeah.
Okay, I think I have something to say.
Okay.
Uh, I just want to reference to the question you asked earlier, and one of the answers which you gave is just to make research. In anything,
Mm.
I say it again, in anything we do, we should
Research.
just make a proper research, a deep research about anything.
Mm.
Because if you are researching, we'll be able to get what is real and
Yes,
what
fake.
is not. And secondly, let me give an instance. Let's take for instance, how do we spot a red flag, right? We normally see some adverts. That's happened to me some times ago. So we normally see some adverts whereby they will just place the adverts maybe on the streets while walking. You see it on the pole somewhere. So once you get that advert, they will ask you to call so number
Okay.
to get so opportunity.
Okay.
Once you dial the numbers on it, they might ask you to, okay, come to so place
Wow.
to get the opportunity. Once they are able to convince you and you go there, before you go, make sure that the place they invited you to, make sure it's somewhere everybody knows,
Okay.
so that we don't just fall victim. Because why I'm saying this is that when it happened to me, I called that number, the number I saw on that advert. I called the number,
Yeah.
and I think I told maybe my dad or my elder brother. It was like, where were you invited to? Where did they ask you to come? I said, so place. So place. I think then I was still much younger.
Young. Okay.
It was like, why would they ask you to come to this? This is not real.
Okay.
I didn't mean that if it's something real, they won't ask you to come to that kind of a place. At least it should be something they can do publicly or in an open space whereby other people will see that, okay, something is going on here.
Oh. Okay.
So once you are not able to verify the address
Yeah.
you are being invited to, it's a red flag.
And luckily for us, we have the internet at our beck and call now.
Exactly. So you can just go on the internet or on the map, just search. So thank God now you can access everywhere from the Google map now. So if you are not able to locate a so place that you are invited to come for an opportunity, my brother and sister, it's a red flag.
These are eye-opening experiences, and I'm so glad we have you people here to share with us, because
Thank you.
this hearing your experience is my first time hearing it. I know I've heard lots of stories about the money chain thing, bring someone coming, but I've never heard of this, and it's scary. And I also picked something from here: involve people. When you
Yes,
get this
exactly.
kind of opportunities, there's no need to rush into it. Talk to people. Like they always say, two heads
Not
are better than one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We're going on a short break now, and when we're back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay tuned.
We wear the khaki, but we carry more than just a bag. We carry dreams, grit, and a will to serve.
This is Corpuscan, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Welcome back to Corpus Can. Before we left, we were talking about how to chase money without losing yourself and your core values. Back to this discussion, I would love to ask Uche, what does real success mean to you?
Real success to me is not all about the money, not all about the world, not all about being at the top of the pyramid or whatnot. Real success to me is kind of like being at peace with whatever I am doing, being at peace with whatever I want to achieve. I know I want to be there, but I am not there yet. So I kind of like strive to be there by working hard. I pray, I work hard, I follow a schedule, a timeline, and in all, I kind of like try to be consistent and efficient in whatever I'm doing. All in all, to kind of like achieve the success that I want to achieve. Thank you.
Well, that's very insightful.
I think I have an insight.
Okay.
Real success is not just about the amount of wealth you have now. It's not the influence you have. What I feel real success is, let's take for instance, you have a knowledge and you are able to impart it into someone. And from that person also is able to transfer it to another person, and it keeps going on like that.
Okay.
So let me just say that's an impact that you've made in the community, right? As long as the knowledge, people are benefiting from it. It might not be knowledge alone. It might be from your resources that you have. As long as people keep benefiting and they pray for you in return, I think that's success.
Very profound. So moving on. So I would love to ask you why peace of mind is part of real success.
Yeah, peace of mind and real success, they are two different things, but it can be linked together. As I've said earlier, real success is not just the amount of wealth you gathered or the properties you had. If you are successful, so how we can link it? If you are successful in life and you don't have peace of mind, what's the essence of your success? So being at peace is very, very, very key. Okay, let's take for instance, you are successful and you have some things going within yourself, like you are not pleased with yourself. Probably internally, let me say internally, like you are not happy. The wealth that you have gathered, that we are counted as being successful, if you are not happy, you won't be able to manage the wealth or the resources you've gathered. Let me give a point. If you are successful, okay, people might know, okay, this person is successful, right? Okay. But if your mind is not at peace, my sister, even your health status it will be obvious from the look of things. No, this person doesn't have peace of mind. So peace of mind, it improves your health status. It even increases your mental stability. So if you are successful and you are not at peace, I don't see the reason for. Let me say, I don't see how. I don't know how to put it. You are successful and you are not at peace. So what's the essence of being successful? So if you want to be successful in life, or if you want to be successful in life, we should also take into consideration our peace of mind. How do we want to get our wealth, the properties we've been longing for? How do we want to get it? And at the same time, keeping our peace of mind. Some people today, I can boldly say that the way they gather their wealth, once they are able to gather it, they don't have peace of mind anymore. Why? Because the way they've gone, they went, the way that they've been, what they've been through in order to gather those resources or the funds or the wealth. So the ways they've run through, the way they've gone through, whatever places they've gone through is what will make not giving them the peace of mind they need in order to be able to manage what they've been able to get. So if you are not peaceful with yourself, or you don't have peace of mind, so I don't think the wealth you've gotten or the properties you've gotten will take you to anywhere.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'd like to contribute to what Wahid just said as pertaining to getting wealth and peace at the same time. Sometimes some persons, getting jobs, getting a business, or being into something is kind of like difficult. So sometimes some people are lucky enough to kind of like be in a certain place of work, in a certain position, or in a certain job, but they are not happy with the job because it's not what they actually want to do.
Exactly.
But yet that job is kind of like paying the bills and taking care of whatever they are doing. So a candid advice is kind of like a story I once heard. There is this man working in a place where he doesn't want to work, but he still works there, he still gets paid, he still delivers. But delivering is getting paid. What he does with his payment is he channels the payment into what he like, his passion, his dream. It might be art, it might be like painting, might be music or whatever. But he kind of like gets a payment and he channels it there to where he feels like he has that peace. And he kind of like uses the place he's not comfortable with to move himself to a comfortable and a more stable place. So that's my own point and the kind of like advice I was trying to put. You don't just, because you're not comfortable with where you are, you kind of like give mediocre or unacceptable output or service to that place. You kind of like you can use what you don't want to get what you want. Thank you.
So we've all heard it from our guests today. Firstly, they talked about core values, not losing yourself when going for the things you want. Remember where you're coming from, remember where you're going, because when you get the success you want without the values, it becomes nothing. Also, nothing worth of value is for free. So when you see opportunities, you probe, you research, when you think they come easy, just make sure to know that nothing very good comes that easy.
This is Corporate, rising to serve, rising to lead.
What a refreshing and powerful conversation. Today, we've learned that real success isn't just about the hustle, it's about finding peace, purpose, and balance along the way. A heartfelt thank you to my amazing guests, Uche and Wahid, for sharing their wisdom and reminding us that success without peace isn't true success at all. And to you watching, remember, the goal isn't just to make a living, but to make life that feels right to you. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at Achievement Channel and keep the conversation going with the hashtag CorpusCan. Until next time, I am Amy, reminding you, hustle hard, but don't lose your heart. See you on the next episode of Corpus Can. Thank you.
This is Corpus Can, rising to serve, rising to lead.
A new day dawns, full of possibilities. Take the first step towards your dreams. Empower your mind with positive thoughts. Achieve more. Make a difference in someone's life today. Impossibility is nothing.
Welcome to another soul-stirring episode of Achievement, your weekly show on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's 100% motivational TV station. We are coming to you from the School of Eloquence Studio in Ikoyi, Lagos. This program is dedicated to men, fathers, leaders, dreamers who are facing life's real challenges and need the fuel to push forward. At Achievement, we uplift, encourage, and inspire men to live with purpose, lead with strength, and rise above every setback. Today's topic is resilience, standing strong in tough times. We are diving into what it means to be truly resilient, how to bend without breaking, how to fall but rise even stronger. Joining me today are two exceptional guests. Mr. Austin Onono, a leadership expert, entrepreneur, and humanitarian. He's a former factory inspector, a veteran corporate leader, and the current CEO of Nutrify Farms Limited. His 25-year service in Lions Club International includes leading life-changing health projects across Nigeria. Austin is a builder of both people and institutions. And we also have Mr. Asef Kolawole Agbeyihane, a chartered accountant, a public speaker, and grassroots politician. He has served in various political leadership roles and is deeply committed to youth empowerment and also women's development through his foundation. He's also a financial consultant and public affairs analyst. Let's dive into a conversation that will empower you to stay the course, even in the storms of life. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
It's a wonderful profile, and I'm happy to be in this moment right now. And I'll ask from the very basics. Let me start with Mr. Asef. How do you define resilience? Personally, what's resilience to you?
To me, the resilience is ability to cope, to adapt, and also move forward from there.
Can I have your take, please?
Yes, it's your ability to tolerate, it's your ability to overcome, and it's also your ability to grow and respond to adversity. It's about survival and growth. You have to endeavor to survive in the moment and then find a way to get past it.
I love that. So I'll ask you directly, Mr. Austin. From your profile, it's obvious that you've gone through different sectors. And from your definition of resilience, I can see that you're actually very, very resilient. So what was the most difficult moment and how did you transition? How did you overcome it? How can you align these moments to express it that, okay, I'm learning from you now. This was the toughest. How did you go? How did you overcome it?
Okay, I think maybe one of my most difficult turnaround jobs was when I was divisional chief executive of Technical Products and Leasing Services, John Holtz PLC. I think it was primarily the weight of expectation from the outcome of the job based on the impact it was likely to have on the business. So it was like a lot was resting on your shoulders and you had to do this. And then in the course of executing the turnaround, I discovered that I needed to spend a lot of time to get it done. So it wasn't just the time you were interfacing with people in the office. It was time before and time after that interface. So I found myself at some point, for a long period of time, working for about 19 hours every day. So I think that was the toughest period. And how I got over that was to motivate myself. I broke the overall objective down into smaller achievable goals. So as we were accomplishing one small goal after the other, I was getting more and more motivated, apart from, of course, ensuring that you were properly exercised and all. Wow, that's some standard that I hope people can actually emulate. But 19 hours is a lot. It's really a lot. It's ridiculous. I live on the peninsula, and then the Lekki Expressway was being built. So I had to leave home at 5 a.m. latest in the morning. The minute I got into the car, with the inner lights, I would start working. Get to the office, continue working, and then after people had left, I'll still try to finish up, walk all the way in the car going back home. And then unfortunately, when I get back, just again, because as you were seeing those numbers coming through and they were exciting you, let's do this one more. So I'll put in a little bit more time in the study before going upstairs. And that's why, it became 19 hours very, very quickly before I realized it.
Wow. Mr. Asef, I want to dig deep into your own moments too. And I'm sure you have a lot of them because you've been in the political sector. You've done a lot of primaries. We're in Nigeria, so we understand what's happened. So I'll ask you this question personally. And I want you to, take a moment and, feel it in. How have you been able to cope? Or for better use of the word, how have you been able to endure and go through these setbacks? How are you overcoming it? Because I've seen your profile. It's deep. So how did you do it? And you are not looking like what you've been through. If I want to use that word, you carry yourself so well with so much grace and compassion and panache. You are calm. You are not even showing it. So how have you been able to get through these setbacks and upsets, if I will use that word?
I think a lot of factors played out. One, like the popular say, when there's no purpose, there's bound to be an abuse. One, a purpose is driving you. Then you have no reason to let go because that becomes the inner driving force.
Correct.
Then number two is also that a positive mindset. You already have a mindset that something is achievable. Then number three, knowledge is power. Even in the Bible in all your getting, get knowledge. And then when you get that knowledge, then the next step is understanding of the knowledge you got and then the wisdom, ability to apply it. Because, for example, in the political system, one of my focus is that I have that inner voice that I'm among the people that will make Nigeria better. Because you run to USA, you run to Canada, you run to UK, some people pay the sacrifice that made that place stand today. That is why I don't blame people that japa, but me, my focus that I have that inner conviction that I'm among the people that make Nigeria great. Then I have no reason to leave, and I have no reason also to lose focus, because a lot of also destiny rests on my shoulder. Because whatever you are doing is not for yourself, you are doing it for others. Even the scripture also says, those that steal should steal no more, so that they should walk. Can you imagine? And get to give order. He's not even thinking of you because your own case is settled. You are in the kitchen cooking, and you're not the one that will determine how the food is served. You already taste, you already, even the aroma already, you are satisfied. Then that positive mindset that, no, something will just work. After if it didn't work, you change your strategy.
Correct.
Nobody that succeeds, even most of the people that are successful today, their number of failures were more than their success. Because you learn from that and then you move on.
That is deep. That is reassuring. And I wanted to, in that flow, talk about the next question. I wanted to just say this. Do you think, or why do you think resilience is a crucial trait that young men or people should have? Because what you've just explained shows that you just have to do it. I'll give you an analogy so you can tell us deeply also why resilience is key. Why do you think it's key? I do a lot of work. I love hiking a lot. And I've done some hiking in places in Europe where our guide would tell me that we're like 4 hours into the woods. This particular tree has been planted for 1,200 years. So it means that Greek proverb of planting trees that you won't be under for the next generation, for posterity, which is why I love what you've just said. So why do you think resilience, like you've exemplified now, is key trait that people should have, especially the young generation, for you to succeed?
Well, there's a popular saying that not taking a risk is a risk in itself.
Right.
That's supposed to be a natural instinct for every human being. I used to give an example. If rain is falling and an animal is under it, do you know you begin to move, looking for where the rain will not touch him. Once you get there, it will stop. But as a human being, you can observe your environment and be able to know where to hide. But like animal is testing the water, is testing on the get. But as a human being, that resilience is supposed to be a natural trait. Because what I mentioned also knowledge earlier on, every human being in life must give attention to reading. Every successful man, when you pick their biography, you will be surprised. You'll be amazed what they passed through. Even in my journey in life, one of the books that helped me is the book they call The God's General. When I read that book, I didn't even know the importance of that book until when I have one of the challenges in life. And I remember that if these great people suffer something like this, then you are just a baby. That means we must establish that resilience for we to survive. Nobody that became successful in life that doesn't pass through one pains or the other. That means it's a natural thing. If we now narrow it down to Nigeria now, it's more tougher. Thank God when Mr. Austin was addressing my son, their generation is more difficult than when we were growing up. Right. Sometimes I feel pity for them, but they need to also develop more because at this age now, they have access to more information than us. How they utilize those informations is very key for their resilience and survival.
Mr. Austin, I must have your take that because of your... I want to approve you based on your experience. So why do you think this resilience is a must-have, not a nice-to-have for this generation?
Based more on what I see now, and what I can deduce from the experience I've had. This is a social media generation. And there's a lot of pressure on people, especially the younger ones now, that didn't exist before. Because your scope was limited to a few people. But with social media, you're exposed to a lot of people. You also now can't control what people are posting. So a lot of what is being posted is very far from the truth. unfortunately, people consume the things that are posted and then try to measure their own performance against what they are seeing, not realizing that a lot of them are really false. So that puts a lot of pressure. As a matter of fact, not just the younger people, but everybody, who is not self-confident. And it's everyone, it's men, it's women. Now, matters are not helped by the fact that our value system is also now upside down. So the people who espouse to the pristine and traditional values, that we all cherish, are now being made to look as stupid, as slow, and as unsuccessful. Mr. Saab just mentioned reading and knowledge. All right. What you see today is that, guy, look, forget that matter of reading, shine your eye, clear road, make it, whatever is the case. And then you can buy all the doctors you want. You can buy all the lawyers that you need. And this is what people are being made to believe is real. It's now become the reality, but it's absurdity. Now, specifically, let's even go further. In 2018, the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Health announced that 30% of Nigerians were suffering various levels of mental health challenges. At the same time, WHO had the number at about 25%. This is 2018. Do the math. Do you think things have improved since then?
Interesting.
And if the Permanent Secretary of Federal Ministry of Health officially was acknowledging 30%, do you not think that the number could have been more than that?
I love that data.
What would it be now? It's frightening.
I love that data. And do you mind? Because it's obvious from what you've just iterated that we need a paradigm shift.
We do.
So can I ask you the question, and I want you to answer also, but let me take it first. Can resilience be taught?
Resilience can be taught. Resilience can be learned. But while you're doing that, you also have to be mindful of the fact that at the end of the day, it comes down to you taking care of yourself. Now, going back to this Ministry of Health statistics, in Nigeria, we actually have less than 200 psychiatrists. Less than 200. For a population that is upwards of 180 million. So you find that you have to, by yourself, nurture your inner strength. So you can learn resilience through practicing of mindfulness, where people wake up in the morning and the first thing they do is to grab their phone. And you're going into that cycle. But you can actually distress and prepare for the day deliberately to engage with the day based on your own terms. So if you go into that day, just open to anything that comes, you're going to be blown away by all sorts of things.
Can it be taught?
Well, resilience can be
answer from your political
and also can be learned. Now, if you talk about how to taught resilience, as a father or as an experienced person, either political or in the secular world, you should be able to taught people, share experience and knowledge of what you pass through and how you survive it. That's how it can be taught. Even as a parent, you can sit down your children, begin to share life experience with you, some things you have passed through, how you were able to weather it. But there you must put a clause. They may not pass through a similar thing. They may not pass through the same thing, but there are some of those lessons that they can apply. That is how it can be taught. Then it can also be learned, like I said, about knowledge. When you've read the biography of people that were successful and you see how they suffer so many failures. Look at Thomas Edison. He tried 1,000 times before he was able to get electricity. He now make one comment that he now discovered that there are 10,000 ways of doing something.
I'll take it from you.
That means it can be taught, it can also be learned.
You fail forward. Yeah. Let's go on the commercial break. That's a really insightful one. We'll see you on the other side of the show.
Hi, my name is Olufemi Shea. I'm CEO of Casafina Development. I'd like to tell you this. Keep watching Achievement Channel.
Hello, my name is Roma Daniels. This is Achievement Channel. Please keep watching Achievement Channel. the first and only motivational channel in the country. Thanks, man.
Hello guys, my name is TK Classic. I'm a singer, songwriter and performer. I'm here live at the CEO Summit 2025 and this is Achievement Channel. Stay on the dial, don't leave.
For us here at the School of Eloquence, our primary focus is on the art of public speaking because it's a major problem. And public speaking, we must understand, is the raw art of speaker to audience oral communication.
I got a lot more than I actually expected. I have overcome the fears I used to have.
The more you speak, the better you are at speaking.
School of Eloquence is the place you can be, and there's a turnaround. That change you are expecting, you get it there.
Welcome back to the other side of the show. I'm sure you were itchy to see how it goes out. That's how we're also feeling here. Miss Austin.
Yes.
Resilience means reinvention. So for everyone out there that needs help, that needs, they're feeling rejected, dejected, there's no work. We know how the situation is global because I have data of Spain, at least Italy and the US. So it's not like there's job everywhere. So, and resilience means reinvention. You have reinvented yourself. Simply put, I'm sure a lot of our viewers will go and look you up. So how do you explain, how do you advise? I think that's what, how do you advise the younger generation to pull through whatever circumstances they find themselves?
Thank you very much. First of all, contentment works for me. Contentment has helped to ground me. And if people can build that contentment in themselves, it helps to prevent you from falling off the wagon, first of all. And then it's never too late to start all over. At some point, you have to make a conscious effort to stop digging. You know how you're digging a hole, you keep digging and you're going further and further. At some point, you need to stop, come out and look at it. It's almost like somebody drowning. When you're drowning in a river, you keep thrashing, you're dissipating energy, you're likely to take off faster. But if you were to actually slow down and tread water, allow the water to carry you, you have time to think, you have time to see whether there's something that you can support yourself with. And then maybe the water can even carry you to safety. It may carry you to peril, but it will take you there much later than if you were digging. So when you slow yourself down, you have to build up your versatility. You have to be ready to try new things. You have to be able to think innovatively. Innovative thinking will help you determine those things that you can do with little capital. Because what a lot of people have challenges with now is, how do I start? Where do I find the money? But there are things that people can do, but you need to just lose yourself first of all. Get yourself off that pedestal. Forget who you used to be and look at what you need to become the person that you need to become.
Excellent. Mr. Asef, you are the water person. I love the analogy, the example you gave on the water part. There's something called blue ocean strategy. You are doing it when you are the first person to do it when nobody is doing it. And there's something that you are doing that I think you need to see as a trait, which I'm asking, that's why I'm asking for this, asking you this particular question. When you get stuck, when you don't know what to do again, how did you continue? Because there are moments that you knew that this looks, because of the politics parts, this is it. So when people get stuck, younger people, how should they go about it? What should they do? What has worked for you?
Now, if things didn't work, it's just like Mr. Austin said, first of all, you need to relax yourself. Then that gives you the opportunity to think, to analyze, to review, and to strategize. Just like the example of Thomas Edison. 1,000 times is not a camo, it's not a joke. Somebody tried something 1,000 times. That means if it didn't work for the first time, you need to also sit down, review what you've done. Is there anything to amend? Is there anything to change? Just yesterday, a younger person chatted me up. I've referred him to 2 companies to supply his into chemical. He now say he need more business. I now asked him, I said, the area I've already recommended, what have you done with it? He said they've not called him. I said, did you sit down to review? One, is your price competitive? Is your product quality enough? Because they already have existing suppliers supply the same thing. These are the questions you need to ask. I said, thirdly, you also need to go back to those people. Why have they not patronized you? From there, you'll be able to now know how you reinvent yourself. That means if it's not working, you need to review, you need to strategize, you need to examine, and then look at what you need to amend. And then you'll be able to find a way out.
You've stylishly mentioned my next question. And this is for both of you, but I'll start with you since you started it. Let's talk about support systems, faith, mentors, mentees, because some of us actually draw strength from the people we're mentoring. It has happened to me.
Absolutely.
I'm mentoring this person, but I actually draw strength from the person. The fact that I'm here today doing a lot, I think it swings both ways. So what is the role of support system in being resilient? What do you think? How do we need it? How far should it be applied? And is it even important?
Support system, very great, very necessary, but also there's a caution. Because some people also see support system as an entitlement. That would be very bad. But naturally, we need support system. From family, from faith. Like myself, I enjoy fantastic support system from my wife, from my elder brother, from the family circle. From the faith, there was a time I had some challenges. My pastors and deacons stand beside me. One day, the deacon was talking to me. He said, do you know I've used your case to encourage someone? I was so excited. I said, that means what I was going through was also becoming a testimony to encourage someone. Then also, I've also benefited from mentor. Either far or near. You know, some people are your mentor, either because the way you read their biography, their lifestyle encourage you. But what also interests me is the aspect of the métier. Whatever you are giving out, you are getting it back more. I think there's a Yoruba proverb that says, or a general, that when you are pointing one finger at other, the remaining four come back to you. When you are mentoring people, you are the one that is even benefiting more. Because that is what it's like. You are meant to give. That's why Jesus said, they say it's better to give than to receive. When you are giving, you are the one benefiting it more.
I think that's in almost all the holy books. At least my son said,
let me add something. Like now, if you are mentoring someone, you know, sometimes you do research on your own. Because this person that I'm going to guide, there are some things I also need to look at. Can you see how you are also benefiting? Because you can't just go as an empty person. Even though the area you've gone through, you still need to look at what are the current happening in those areas. You want to advise them.
I want to take on it as a man of many parts and as someone that has grown through the ranks. Literally, that's just the word, through the ranks. What do you have to say for the support system?
My main plank is faith. My faith is my main plank. I believe in God like a child.
Interesting.
I trust him without doubt. You know how you throw a child up? The child is laughing all the way up and laughing all the way down. Intuitively, the child knows. The child is not even thinking about whether you're going to catch him or her or not. But the child doesn't hit the ground because you're there. That's how I take God. I don't question. So when things happen that are adverse, I see it that he has allowed that to happen for a reason. So I just align with what has happened and it makes it easy for me, do you understand, to carry on. When you question and you begin to want to find the reason, oh this, oh that, then you're putting yourself ahead of what God has done. That's for me. All right. So my faith has really helped me, you know, to prevent challenges in those areas. I started early and became pretty successful, you know, at least by my own metrics, quite early. So I did not benefit from a lot of mentors. At the time, people should be mentoring me. They thought I was already doing well. But what that now did for me is that I drew strength and joy from the people I now mentored. I have a very interesting story that gladdens. In fact, I have so many stories like that, about 6. One of my house helps when I was still a bachelor, Matthew, came to my house, read all the books in the study, and would always ask for books. Long story short, put Matthew through school, HND, OND, HND, BSc. His uncle took over. Next thing he calls me, he's in Poland. What are you doing? He's doing his master's. As we speak today, Matthew has 2 doctorate degrees. It gladdens me that I played a role. Whenever I meet someone, my plan is for that person to become better than me. I want to impart enough for that person to achieve more than I did. So that's...
Stemming from what you've explained, it's wonderful when we have people that not just look out for others, but go all the way. We look forward to meeting Matthew. We'll ask a question also. I love when I have follow-ups like this because we make it very sweet and smooth for even our viewers. Criticisms, oppositions, betrayals, it will always happen. Well, it hurts deep when it's from people that are very close to you. Starting from you, let me have it. So how do you handle such situations?
You see, again, we try to build things, that shouldn't be built. The human nature by itself is given to betrayals and things. Once you understand that, do you understand? Then it makes it easy for you to understand that somebody has done this. Now, one of the mantras that I live by is that I don't expect to see me in another person. The stimuli that forged me, the things that made me who I am, the value systems that made me who I am, the environment and background that made me who I am, are different from the ones that made you, different from the ones that made Mr. Saf. So your interpretation of a particular situation is based on the body of knowledge that developed you into the man that you are today. So more than likely, you will see things differently from the way I see it. So once you understand that you cannot expect to see yourself in somebody else, you give them a long rope to express themselves. In doing that, you allow room and time for tempers and everything to calm down. You allow yourself room to adapt to whatever is coming your way. So with criticisms, I listen attentively. I listen actively. I listen to hear exactly what you are saying, not how you are saying it. And when I see things, that make sense from what you're saying, I actually adapt. I do that. It's easy for me. When you say betrayal, yes, it's only people who are close to you that can betray you. Do you understand? Because you have invested trust in them. But if you understand that this person is also human and no one is above mistakes, sometimes people do things not necessarily having thought it through. Some people don't sit down and plan that I'm going to betray you. Some people just respond, to stimuli, and it happens.
So they're just opportunistic betrayal.
Sometimes it happens. But even when some people wake up in the morning and they ask themselves, whose life am I going to make miserable today? And imagine if it turns out to be you.
I find it amusing how there's a lot to learn from both of you. Criticism, opposition, betrayal. You are the political guru here. How do you handle it? Even if it's from, especially when it's from people that know you, they know your story. So his experience is really deep, like you mentioned. So how do you handle your own people that are very close to you?
Now, for me, out of the 3, criticism, opposition, and betrayal is a little difficult. But criticism and opposition is good for every one of us. Even when you talk about positive and negative criticism, positive one is good for you. The negative one is also good for you. One thing that normally if people criticize me, one thing I know that sometimes people criticize because they were not even privileged to know something you know, something you have. Then they criticize you based on their level. But if you are sincere enough, you will now look at it, okay, what this person is saying is correct, then I need to improve. If it's not correct, let me give you an instance. There's somebody we share the same office. I have 5 whites that wear under as it should, but the guy thought it's only 1 white I was wearing every day. You can imagine as close as that person to me. I just look at if this person knew, he won't have even said what was saying. Then you can imagine at that level. That's why I say criticism and opposition is good for you. If as an opposition, you need to prove the person. If somebody is opposing you, your own is to determine, to prove to the person that you can be better. But betrayal, like I say, become difficult a little to manage. David said that if it is an enemy that did it to me, I won't have bother. But we go to the house of God, we put counsel together, we eat together. But like he said, you must realize that as long as that person is human, is bound to make mistake. How I manage betrayal, which I say is difficult, that one, like God Mr. Austin said, you don't expect everybody to be like you. 2, again, I will feel it initially, but within a second, it's a human being. Because I expect any human being to behave funny, to do anything to you. But with that, you'll be able to manage it and move forward.
Parting shots now. Someone is listening. That's how our show is. The person wants to give up. What do you have to say to the person?
No, this is not the time to give up. Don't give up. No matter how difficult it is, no matter how dark it may seem, there's light at the end of that tunnel. This is the time to actually dig in. This is the time to reinvent yourself. This is the time to think of new things. This is the time to develop yourself further. And it's only over after you have decided that it's over. Once you switch yourself up, that's the time that it's over. But as long as you remain in the mix, a lot of better things can actually happen. Let me just close by saying there's a guy, I think his name is Gary Hamel, he's a businessman. He says that companies fail, and by companies, now let me also use individuals. Companies fail by investing a lot in the things that are happening now, as opposed to investing in the things that could happen.
In the future.
In the future. All right. So, if you decide to give up now, then you have shut yourself away from the wonderful things that are waiting for you in the future.
Your take?
Well,
like question, final answer. In conclusion, what do you say to
there's
them?
no need to give up. As long as you are still breathing, that means there's a hope. It's only a dead man. That's why they say a living dog is better than a dead lion. As long as you are alive, there's no. You can see somebody beside you that is making it. Then why can't you make it? You see somebody. If you listen to some people, you will even be surprised that your own case is a calm case. Some people are surviving a more difficult situation, and then you are shouting over a minority. But also remember, difficult time bring out the best in every human being. Nobody achieves something successful by being peaceful. When the tough time comes, it bring out the best.
This is amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll finish with the Akamu case. Even that Akamu is not easy to make. It means that as simple as life may look, it gets difficult. Well, you're not giving up. You are resilient and you will get to the other side. Thank you for having this show with us. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
What an honest and empowering conversation. Resilience isn't about being perfect. It's about not quitting. It's about standing tall, even with scars. And today, Austin Onono and Asef Kolawole have shown us what it truly means to be built to endure. To every man watching this right now, maybe you've lost something, a job, a relationship, a dream. Maybe the weight feels too much, but hear this, you are still standing, and that means your story isn't over. Thank you, gentlemen, for your wisdom and transparency. And thank you to our viewers for joining us on Achieve Men, where we remind you that your struggle is valid, your strength is real, and your future is still bright. Let's continue this important conversation. Follow at Achievement Channel on Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, and YouTube for more achievement content and updates. Use the hashtag #WeSeePossibilities and share your thoughts with us. I'm Mantizoloe, and until next time, keep pushing, keep growing, and never stop believing.
keep on watching Achievement Channel. You guys are doing a great job.
Oh, Achievement Channel is the best. Achievement Channel is the best.
My name is Azu Ishekwene. I'm the editor-in-chief of Leadership. Keep watching the Achievement Channel if you want to be and continue to remain an achiever. Best.
Keep watching Achievement Channel because my name is Ray Chebri. Please keep watching Achievement Channel.
Okay, my name is Nkechubi and you should watch the Achievement Channel.
Welcome once again to Achievers Book Club. I'm Sarah Undu, your reading companion and guide. Every week here on the Achievement Channel, we open the pages of transformational books that help you live, lead, and achieve more intentionally. This week, we are focusing on a cornerstone text for anyone serious about impact, Developing the Leader Within You, by the incomparable John C. Maxwell. Get ready to discover that leadership isn't just a title, it's a journey of growth and influence. Because here at the Achievement Channel, we see possibilities. This book isn't just a bestseller, it's a masterclass in true leadership. Since its original release, Developing the Leader Within You has revolutionized how millions worldwide perceive and practice leadership. Maxwell dismantles the myth that leadership is solely about position or power, teaching us that it's fundamentally about influence. He invites us to understand that effective leadership is an inside job, beginning with personal growth before extending to others. Let's unpack the core principles that build an influential leader. My guest today is no stranger to impact. He's a speaker, coach, and Nigeria's one Mr. Motivator. He's here to help us uncover the life-changing wisdom in John C. Maxwell's principles. Welcome back to the book club, Mr. Motivator.
Thank you, Sarah. It's good to be back.
Thank you. So, Mr. Motivator, John C. Maxwell fundamentally states that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less.
Absolutely.
So, but in a vibrant and a dynamic economy like this, Nigeria, where influence can manifest in so many ways, either from community leadership or to tech startup, whatever, how crucial is it for aspiring leaders now to truly grasp this concept, both locally and on a global space?
Yes, the concept of influence.
Influence.
Which is really what that book is about. I like to refer to it as the most developmental book on leadership. The first book anyone aspiring to grasp the most basic of concepts about leadership should read. Because if you cannot discover yourself in order to lead yourself, you don't stand a prayer when it comes to leading others, developing the leader within you. So let's look at your question. How crucial is understanding John C. Maxwell's core argument or his own core definition of leadership, which is simply put, influence, impact, making a difference. How crucial is that understanding for Nigerians, especially in a given context? It is very crucial because when you look at the typical mentality surrounding leadership in Nigeria, it is titular. It is always title-centric. It is always about position. Your brother gets appointed the chief executive of a company today. You jump up in celebration. We have arrived. We have someone in a very key and powerful position. You used to look at him in the eye to greet him before that time. Now, all of a sudden, because of that position, you no longer can look at him eyeball to extend a common courtesy. The position has changed a lot of things, and we use the word change in level. And so we begin to create so much more out of human beings because of positional changes, and by extension, we conclude that that is what leadership is all about. Such paradigm is what John C. Maxwell challenges in his book, in this book, Developing the Leader Within You. So say, wait a minute. That shift in position or that elevation to a higher post does not necessarily imply that leadership is in the mix, because if the person has not yet developed themselves to lead, the position does not change anything. In fact, in the same book, John Maxwell puts it this way, that the position only buys you time. It buys you time to either develop the leadership skills or buys you time to expose you. Absolutely. And for you to lose whatever respect you once had. It's all your choice as to how you use that time. So, to your question, how important, how crucial it is for us in this environment, regardless of what we are into. And we must interpret whether we are in tech or community leadership, business leadership, religious leadership, political leadership, whatever it is, positions or context. Let me not just use the word leadership. We must see all of these contexts as mere situations, calling for us to bring to bear the leadership skills we've developed within ourselves. So first, I say get away or push aside that titular mentality, that it's about a title or a position, and focus on the very essence of what leadership truly represents, which is influence. Meaning that I may have a small community. It doesn't make me any less a leader than a man who leads an army. Because it's not by sheer size or numbers. It's not by mere quantifiable metrics that one becomes more of a leader than another. Rather, it's by the impact, the influence that they bring to bear within that context. You're a leader if you have a team of 2 in your office and you can influence them to stay on target, to focus on the goals, and to achieve results. And you didn't need to bang the table, you didn't need to append anything, you simply guided them, became a source of inspiration, challenged them, and made sure there was collaboration, and in the end, they met the timeline and they delivered on the objective. That's leadership. Based on John C. Maxwell's definition in this book. Influencing means that you were able to influence those 2 colleagues of yours to get the job done, to achieve the results. That is leadership. Whereas you could have a political figure, a governor who is in charge of a state, for instance, with all of the resources, financial resources, human resources, the clout, the goodwill, the laws, everything, and they are floundering and unable to provide leadership. Why? Because they've not developed the leadership mindset and the leadership skill set required in those respective situations. So let us separate situations and positions from the actual disposition to lead. That is how Nigerians must understand this, so that you don't think of yourself less a leader or not even a leader because you don't seem to have the trappings or the external markers of a title or of a position or of a situation around you. So you wish yourself away from actual leadership. That is not true. It is the skill set, the mindset that you apply in being selfless, in working towards goals and harnessing the involvement of others towards producing results. That is what influence is about, and by extension, in very clear terms, that is the definition of leadership. You can do it. The little child in primary school can do it. The secondary school kid can do it. In the university, you can do it. In your private business, you can do it. In your home as well, you can do it. Yes. Siblings can lead one another, even in their homes. In a family of 2, 3, or 4 children, even 2. Leadership can be cultivated there. It's not a title, it's not a position. So Maxwell deals a very serious blow against that mentality. And that is what we have to deal with, or put properly aside, or push aside completely in this kind of culture, in a cultural context where you begin to look up to people because they are in a position. Yet, that responsibility attached to the position they are unable to deliver. There are people today who are governors of states who have failed the leadership test, but everybody sees them because of the position they defer. There are chief executives of companies who are running the companies aground. But when they drive in, everybody kneels around. Everybody rushes. Everyone would rush and say, hey, we want to be a part of this. Oh, we look up to you, you're the one. That's not leadership. That's positional attempts to claim leadership. It is not sustainable. Invariably, we will see you for who and what you are, that you lack the leadership capabilities. But there could be someone in a nondescript position who gradually, through their influence, there is impact, there's results. And we look at it and say, wow, how did you get there? Someone was being responsible, being alive to what that position or what that context required. They used their initiative, they volunteered themselves, they were selfless. And they found ways to galvanize participation by others to say, look, let's do this together. Let's get to where this needs to be. Which is part of what John Maxwell describes in his book, that a good leader is one that knows the way. He not only knows the way, he's also willing. They have a vision, they have skills, they have talent, they have knowledge. He's also willing to take some risk to what? To go the way himself. A good leader is not waiting for permission. That's leadership. He's willing to go the way himself, regardless of risk to him, regardless of the unknown. Meaning that leaders should be dealers in hope. And then, after going the way, he then looks and says, wow, this journey could be much more productive if I could bring others on board. And that leader then, according to Maxwell, shows the way. He knows the way. He doesn't just keep quiet or stay apathetic. It inspires him to say, what next? What can I do about it? At what risk to myself? At what cost possibly to me? You know what? I'm going to take the bull by the horn. I'm going to invest in the effort, take the risk, seize the initiative. Rather than being a wheelbarrow, I'm going to self-start and go the way and not stop there. I want to transcend by showing the way. Then that's what makes for leadership. And that has got to be the new way that we approach things in Nigeria, regardless of what we do.
Wow. Wow. That's absolutely true. So in a nutshell, you say that leadership is not just a title.
Yes.
Yes, so it simply says that it's an inside-out journey.
Absolutely.
So it starts from your character and your consistent action.
That's right.
Okay, amazing.
That then inspires others to say, wow, we can follow.
Okay.
That's the beauty of it, because as John Maxwell will also tell you, that he that thinks he's leading and has no one following is merely taking a walk. And there are many people today taking walks in their minds. They think they are leading. They don't know that they're just on their own, because no one is actually following.
Mr. Motivator, so the law of the lead
Yes.
is one of Maxwell's most impactful principles, suggesting our leadership ability caps our overall effectiveness. So how does this lead typically manifest, perhaps for someone building a business here in Nigeria or a global professional thing? And what immediate action can our viewers take from this?
So this lead, the concept of the lead is, a lead is a covering, a ceiling, which is essentially saying there's a ceiling there that you cannot go beyond. And that ceiling is usually self-imposed. You have a business leader or a business owner who stops taking courses, who stops learning, who stops attending conferences, who stops even reading, Who stops going out there to learn more and understand the current trends about that business? The kind of skill sets required. A business owner who stops learning about human behavior. Because you need to understand human behavior to run that business. It means, based on the law of the lead, that once that business leader plateaus there, automatically the fortunes of that business, of that enterprise, with regards to the people there and everything there, plateaus. Not because of the economic situation around, not because of the industry development around, the forces of demand and supply, no, but simply because the leader has stopped growing. The leader has stopped growing. That's what the law of the lead is essentially saying. In other words, your level of knowledge, your competency level, your motivational level, all these, if you don't continue to grow these parameters personally, you have executed a fait accompli on your business, on your venture, on your enterprise, that you can never go beyond, or this business, this enterprise can never grow beyond, say, this local level, because the leader's mentality, the leader's skill set, the leader's capabilities remain restricted. That's what it means. It's simply trying to tell us that no leader can give beyond what they have. So any leader that wants to give more must take off that lead and grow into becoming more. Intellectually, grow into becoming more. Experientially, in the area of expertise, in the area of exposure, in the area of inspiration and motivation, in the area of industry and business awareness. You must continue to expand as a human being. In the area of know-how, how do I lead people? How do I manage the organization? What are the current trends in human behavior? What are the current trends in technology? For instance, any leader today that is not averse, that is not up to date, that is not comfortable and growing, say, in the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence, has already placed a lead on the ability to lead in these times. I run an organization, and I can tell you that I know about AI more than all my staff, including the very young ones who we claim are the ones that are the digital natives. I have to sit with them, educate them, show them. And sometimes they wonder, this is supposed to be an old school fellow, what is happening? But for me as a leader, if I'm going to lead, I must know the way. I must have what? Also gone the way. And then now I show them the way. I mean, you sat in as I showed a copper currently working with us, this is how I want you to do it. Using artificial intelligence. That's leadership. And she will take that and grow with it. So leaders cannot give any excuse. So if you do not unleash yourself, take the lead off, that business will not grow. That idea will stagnate. And once it stagnates, people start peeling away. You no longer have people to lead because people are constantly looking for inspiration, people that they can look up to, look forward to their leadership. And so once you stagnate, human nature takes its toll and people find alternatives that can bring freshness into their lives. It applies in music, in entertainment, it applies in business, it applies in academics, it applies in every facet of human endeavor. Leaders must reinvent themselves as often as possible, as often as possible, as often as possible. Just keep on going and going and going so that there is no lead at all. Yeah. So we shouldn't be talking about any lead.
So it's a
except the ones we impose on ourselves. So there must be continuous and never-ending improvement so that you grow that space and other leaders grow. It starts with you.
Wow. A continuous personal development.
Absolutely.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Mr. Motivator. It's been a wonderful and interesting conversation on the book, Developing the Leader Within You. We are going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we will continue with this conversation. We'll be right back.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you bore people when speaking? Are you stuck with reading word for word? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
the home of public speaking. Attend our practical coaching in public speaking. Call 0802 303 2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Welcome back. It is still the Achievers Book Club, and I have with me here Mr. Motivator. We are uncovering the book, Developing the Leaders Within You. Okay, Mr. Motivator, Maxwell emphasizes that leaders are perpetual learners.
That's true.
Given the rapid global shifts and the incredible dynamism we are seeing currently, particularly in places like Nigeria, why is this commitment to constant learning a non-negotiable to leaders today? And how do you personally stay in that growth mindset?
Okay, why is this commitment to constant learning non-negotiable? To me, I believe first and foremost, it's non-negotiable because of the ramifications of failed leadership. Anywhere you find a failure in leadership, it is usually very costly. It's expensive. Failed projects, wasted resources, various other negative consequences that reverberate into the future, not just in the near term. For instance, failed leadership in governance that does not recognize the importance of planning, because planning is part of governance and you expect a leader to be visionary enough to plan. You don't plan, say, for your population to grow. And because there's a lead on your leadership, we've talked about the law of the lead, you can't see beyond the current numbers. A leader has to ask, what if this place grows, the people living in this place grow from 20 to 50? What arrangement should be in place, say, for the water supply? So that failure, if it happens, 50 people occupy that space meant for 20, pressure on the resource, on the infrastructure, it leads to other unintended consequences. It could increase the crime rate, it could increase the mortality rate, there could be a breakout of diseases, all kinds of problems snowballing over something that a good leader ought to have envisaged if they did not have a lead on their leadership capabilities. And so it is the ramifications that makes it imperative for leaders to take leadership seriously. To your question, for me, it is because it becomes very costly. That mistake comes at such a huge cost. And sometimes it could border between life and death situations. The inconvenience, the pain, the agony, be it at work, in business, in countries, in communities. So that is why it's so important, because there could be fallout. In fact, not that there could be. There will always be a fallout, good or bad. So it makes it imperative that leaders continue to remain on the cutting edge of their leadership skills in order to show that they were proactive enough. When the challenge comes, that readiness is there and they are able to deliver. And now to the second aspect of that question. How can leaders who should be learners remain or stay in that perpetual growth mindset? What do leaders need to do? I always advocate that leaders be proactive enough to surround themselves with knowing people, or leaders should surround themselves with knowers. When you surround yourself with knowers, for want of a better expression, what that does is that it guarantees a consistent influx of fresh ideas, different perspectives with regards to whatever issues a leader has to grapple with. And that dynamic almost always guarantees that there is growth, because you are not a pond. You don't, I beg your pardon, you don't become a lake that is stuck and then stinks. Yeah. Like a river that flows with freshness, fresh ideas, fresh perspective. It means that even you, the leader, can be challenged in terms of your own thinking. Someone can come up with a different view as to how to get it done. Remember, as the leader, you are the one showing the way. This is where we're going. But if you are surrounded as a leader with knowers, you can have a preponderance of ideas as to how to get there. How to get there sooner, cheaper, more efficiently. That way, your leadership grows. That way, you too, as the leader, you learn. Keep in mind that the leader is not an almighty figure. The leader is not an all-knowing figure. The leader himself or herself is a student. A student of life, a student in general. And you can learn from even those around you. There is no stipulation that you learn constantly from those that are above you or ahead of you. So how can you retain that growth mindset? Stay humble. Stay humble, because that challenges you to submit yourself to superior knowledge that adds value and continues to lift that lead that John Maxwell talked about. Stay hungry, because that then motivates you. It motivates you to keep on going and to keep on learning and to keep on growing. Stay humble, stay hungry. These are two ways that any good leader can perpetually retain that growth mentality. You are humble because somebody else can be a teacher to you. And so you can orient and adjust. Even the situation that goes bad can teach you. We've seen how circumstances have humbled many people. Rather than react, they took the lessons and they returned to that development, they got it right. And then being hungry motivates them to say there must still be something more, or there must be something we are missing. So that forces them into seminars, attending seminars, conferences, symposiums, being part of critical associations, mastermind alliances, as Napoleon Hill in his book, Think and Grow Rich, we talked about. Surrounded by wise people or wiser people. In that way, you can remain on the cutting edge. And staying hungry means that you can learn, even learning on your own with technology. Those are options as well. And also, respect feedback. There's a popular saying that feedback is the breakfast of champions. Respect feedback. Any leader that discountenances feedback will soon run out of equity. Any leader that discountenances feedback. And we're not just saying, okay, you're giving people the opportunity to air their views. No, you're genuinely paying attention, constructively, intentionally, onboarding it and saying, you know what, let's make some adjustment. This is so instrumental. This is critical. So we could go on and on and on. But I think these two critical principles of staying humble, staying hungry, and with the disposition of welcoming feedback, being a leader, having more knowers around you, shouldn't threaten you. It is only insecure leaders that find it difficult to stand rising stars. You should be secure in your own self as a person, not being secure by virtue of the position. Don't derive your security from the position you occupy. Derive your sense of security from your own sense of self-worth in terms of your uniqueness, your own capabilities and competencies. Let that give you a sane self-estimate of who and what you are, so that others around you who may be different, who may be distinct from you, don't come across as a threat, but rather to complement you. If you have that mindset, then the lead on your leadership is taken off and you continue to grow. That's the growth mindset we're talking about. Because that then challenges you to grow. Growth is not convenient. Growth is not convenient. So with these factors, I think, or rather I believe very strongly, that anyone who is leading, who aspires to lead, can perpetually attain greater heights in leadership. That's how I think you do it, in terms of a growth mindset.
That's interesting. I believe that when you stop, as a leader, when you stop learning, you actually stop leading.
That's right. Absolutely, because you stop growing.
Stop growing.
You can't lead if you're not growing. That's the truth.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr. Motivator, for sharing such inspiring and knowledgeable insights. Thank you so much, Mr. Motivator.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Motivator has given us so much to reflect on. Now, let's make these principles real. Here is your Achievers Challenge for the week, inspired by John C. Maxwell. 1. Identify your influence. This week, observe where you have influence without a formal title. How can you intentionally use that influence for good? 2. Raise your lead. Pick one area where you feel capped. Find one resource, either a book, a course, or a mentor. Start learning and growing in that specific area this week. And 3, develop another leader. Identify one person you can intentionally invest in. Offer them advice, mentorship, or encouragement to help them grow their own leadership potential. Don't forget to share your journey with us using the hashtag #AchieversBookClub. Let's grow together, leaders.
Today, we're exploring Developing the Leader Within You by John C. Maxwell. A titan in the field of leadership, Maxwell has dedicated his life to teaching and empowering leaders worldwide. This isn't just a theoretical treatise. It's a practical, accessible guide born from decades of experience, debunking the myth that leadership is an innate talent. Maxwell asserts that leadership is a skill you can learn, practice, and master. At its heart, Developing the Leader Within You introduces a transformative framework, the 5 levels of leadership. Maxwell argues that true leadership isn't about a title, but about your ability to influence and impact others. As each level appears on screen with its icon, it begins at level 1, position, where people follow you because they have to, simply because of your title. But true growth comes at level 2, permission, where people follow you because they want to, built on relationships and trust. Then, at level 3, production, you become a leader because you get results. People follow you because of what you've accomplished. The highest levels are found at level 4, people development, where you grow leaders, not just followers, and people follow you because of what you've done for them. Finally, the ultimate aspiration, level 5, pinnacle, where you are revered for your character and influence, and people follow you out of respect and admiration for who you are and what you represent. Maxwell's philosophy extends beyond these levels, emphasizing crucial leadership qualities like integrity, self-discipline, vision, and the power of empowering others. He champions the idea that everyone has the potential for leadership regardless of their title, and that true leadership is ultimately about service. The beauty of Developing the Leader Within You is its universal applicability. Its wisdom translates across industries, cultures, and roles, whether you're leading a large corporation, a small team, your family, or even just yourself. It provides a roadmap for consistent personal and professional growth. The impact of John C. Maxwell in Developing the Leader Within You is immeasurable. His work has inspired millions globally, solidifying his reputation as a master of leadership development. This book is more than a guide. It's an invitation to embark on a journey of self-discovery and influence, proving that leadership isn't just for the chosen few, it's for anyone willing to grow. This book challenges you to ask, What kind of leader do you want to be? And what steps are you willing to take to get there? If you're ready to amplify your influence, inspire those around you, and truly make a difference, then developing the leader within you is your essential roadmap. It's an invitation to step into your full potential and become the leader you were meant to be. Join us next time on Achievers Book Club, where we continue to explore the books that empower extraordinary lives. Until then, keep leading, keep developing, and keep achieving.
Next week, we confront a silent saboteur that holds many back, an enemy called average, in John L. Mason's incredibly direct and powerful book. You'll discover why settling for mediocrity is a dangerous trap and how to unlock your unique God-given potential. It's a call to action for anyone who believes they are made for more than just getting by. So if you are ready to break free from the ordinary and step into the extraordinary, you absolutely cannot miss our next episode. Thank you for spending this enriching time with us here at Achievers Book Club. Remember, whether it's in your community, your business, or your home, leadership is your capacity to influence for good. Embrace the journey of self-development and lead where you stand. I'm Sarah Undu, and until next time, we see possibilities.
On Wednesday, the 19th of November, 2025, leaders, policymakers, and media professionals gathered in Lagos for the 13th anniversary lecture of Real News Magazine, a platform that has become one of Nigeria's most trusted spaces for national dialogue. This year's theme tackled one of Africa's most threatening challenges: cybersecurity, illicit financial flows, and achieving Agenda 2063. A discussion set against the backdrop of Africa's digital revolution and the growing need to protect the continent's resources from cybercrime and economic leakages.
So cybersecurity sector has a lot to do. The fintech also we're doing, also the government, the regulator, the private sector. So it's a win-win thing.
Regulation is the bedrock. It should be the framework. How the operators work should be there first before the operation.
In her opening remarks, Real News publisher Maureen Chigbo warned that Africa loses tens of billions of dollars every year through illicit financial flows, money that could transform education, infrastructure, and healthcare. Her message was clear: if Africa must achieve the African Union's Agenda 2063, it must first safeguard its wealth.
Real News Magazine is all about investigative, robust, and excellent journalism. We are your partners in development, and together we will build a strong and balanced society where all will be free and happy to live in.
Delivering the keynote address, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliu, SAN, chairman of the ICPC, emphasized that cybersecurity is no longer just a technology issue, it is a national security priority. He noted that as Africa becomes more digital, cybercriminal networks are expanding just as fast, exploiting weak systems, unregulated platforms, and insider collaboration. He outlined a strategy that includes stronger laws, improved technology, international cooperation, and financial transparency.
Let us understand what is illicit financial flows we are talking about, and in this digital age. Now, illicit financial flows are illegal movements of money or capital from one country to another. The funds could be illegally earned and transferred, or legally earned but illegally transferred. Illicit financial flows remain one of the most devastating drains on Africa's development capacity. Estimates by African Union High-Level Panel, led by former South African President Mr. Thabo Mbeki, suggest that Africa loses over $80 billion annually through illegal tax practices, transfer, mispricing, corruption, trafficking, and the outright theft of public resources. This illicit financial flows, I want us to note that it also includes our artifacts, because our heritage are taken out of the continent or have been taken out of the continents that are in other parts of the world, where those countries are using our heritage to get money.
The panel session deepened the conversation. Experts challenged government agencies and financial institutions to strengthen transparency and internal controls. A notable moment came when a participant demanded that the ICPC publicly name banks allegedly enabling illicit financial flows, a reminder that accountability must go beyond policy and become practice.
Tell us here and now so we can report it, so that we can start from there to fight this corruption, illicit flow of terror financing or whatever. So tell us the banks, name and shame. They do it in Asia, they do it in Europe, they do it elsewhere. Let us do it in Nigeria and in Africa. Thank you very much.
As part of the celebrations, distinguished contributors were inducted into the Real News Hall of Fame, honoring their support, integrity, and commitment to national development. There were lighter moments too, including a warm celebration for one of the discussants, adding joy to an otherwise serious conversation.
Anybody, any human being, any country who is not planning is planning to fail. So, and you don't wait until you are in 2063 to start planning, to start developing, to start corralling all the resources you need to develop. And we know that the continent is bleeding dry because of illicit financial flows. And technology is aiding it greatly and also making it impossible for those involved in this illicit financial flow to be tracked. So we chose this theme to raise awareness and to call attention to governments that they have to step up their action to stem the tide of illicit financial flow. When you have about $50 billion being drained out of the economy of any country, that's a huge sum of money. Of any continent, is a huge sum of money. And then when you think, take Nigeria for instance, they have about 10 million children who are out of school, right? Now, can you imagine what such an amount of money could do to the life of these children if those monies or the illicit flows are stopped or the monies are tracked? So you have to plan. If you don't plan, you are planning to fail. That's what just it is. So the earlier we start to plan to curb illicit financial flows, the earlier for everybody involved and for us to achieve the sustainable development goals we have always talked about. So the most important thing is that information is power. When you don't have information that will help you to change your life, you will be wallowing in ignorance. So the cure of ignorance is to arm people with adequate information that can help them to uplift their well-being, achieve their aims, and contribute to nation building. Illicit flows is different from illicit financial flows because it's just not in the public space, it's both in the public and private sector. So we are helping to create awareness. We are helping to let people know that this ill exists in the society and it has to be fought and it has to be stemmed. And for us to achieve the aim we want, all hands has to be on deck. No matter what is happening in the country, integrity is still possible. There are people who could not succeed, but they are forging ahead because of their integrity, because people believe in them. And in the business we are in, the business of the media, integrity is everything. If you don't have integrity, nobody will trust you, nobody will come to your program, nobody will believe you. Once they see your medium, they will just wish it away. So integrity is everything. Achievement means what we have achieved here today now. That's it. We have achieved this. We wanted this hall to be filled up, and you can see that the hall is filled to the brim, not by colorful people, by a galaxy of intellectuals from different walks of life, from different countries, and there are so many people online who are watching and following this event. So we have achieved success here today, and we are indeed grateful to God. I'm here today because of perseverance and hard work. So my life is a testimony to that. So if there is any Gen Z around and you want somebody who you want to emulate, you can read up about my work.
I am Martins Oloja, immediate past managing director and editor-in-chief of the Guardian newspaper. Integrity is possible, but it's still unachievable now because integrity is something that looks abstract to people. And because of the way we do not have ethical revolution that we desired, we do not have ethical reorientation to as part of public policy. It's very difficult, and people who have integrity in this place usually don't have even resources to manage their life. They may not be wealthy with integrity because corruption has become like a fundamental objective and directive principle of state policy. And the people who are prominent, who may not even be significant, are people who do not have integrity. And people who do not have integrity, some sections of the media decorate them with awards from time to time. So integrity is not something that is hailed here. So integrity is something that is very difficult to define, but it is something that people do when no one is watching. It's a classic definition. Integrity happens most time when no one is watching you. So it's very difficult. It's something that people should hang on their neck wherever they go. But it's very difficult to achieve in this country now because of the operating environment and the way we do not have role model, we do not have a reward for even integrity. We will have reward for people who can do some things that are unethical, and they don't identify them, they don't reward integrity in this country now.
To make ethics and accountability fashionable, we have to celebrate cases of ethics and accountability that takes place across. So not just in public sector, in private sector. We have to showcase it, we have to tell those stories. So what is happening now is that the stories that are being showcased and being told are not stories that encourage that. We see people celebrating unethical behavior. And for as long as you keep celebrating unethical behavior, you're not going to encourage ethical behavior. So I think achievement to me would be life of impact shows that you've lived for others and not just yourself. It shows that you have come into spaces and you have changed positively those spaces. So it could be impacting in the youths. And so in my case, it would be working with entrepreneurs. And I can count the achievements by how many entrepreneurs have been affected, how they have changed their systems, how they have improved their processes, and how they're doing much better. Not only from a profit perspective, but even from a planet perspective and the people in which they serve.
Achievement means accomplishment. A man that has achieved, a man that has accomplished. And accomplishment means different things for different people. To me, accomplishment is impact. My own understanding of accomplishment is not a man that built estates, but a man that built human beings. Because if you build human beings, a community of human beings, you have built a nation. The impact, the multiple effects will go around in a manner that you can't even imagine. So achievement for an individual is how much impact you have made. And you don't make impact if you don't grow yourself. So you must grow yourself, develop yourself, advance yourself in the area of knowledge, diverse kinds of knowledge. Because we live in the age where innovation is key. When I was in journalism many years back, we used to sleep in the office to produce a newspaper. Nobody sleeps there because technology has taken over. Stories coming ready, copy ready. So things move on the fly. So you have to also be innovative yourself to keep with that advancement of technology. So achievement is accomplishment. And for me, as a journalist, achievement is the impact I have had on people around me, people I've encountered in life, starting from my family. Because my family is key to me. So my achievement is my family first, advancing my family, the standard of life and living, advancing the education of my children. I don't joke with that. And in the long run, these things will come back to you positively. So if you don't make the sacrifice in the morning of your life, when the evening comes, it will be a lonely heart. And that's not achievement. You have not achieved. Integrity is possible. In fact, people are showing integrity. I was at a WAEC office yesterday. I went to check a result that is very old. We said it's no longer captured on, not yet captured on digital platform. So I went there to confirm it, and a young man, a gentleman, I won't call him a young man, he took me through the system, through the process, counseled me. I went and did all that I said I should do, including affidavit. Came back, he did everything thoroughly, professionally, ethically. I had to collect his number, and I sent him a message when I got home. And he told me that is just who he is. That in his own little space, he tries to do things the way they should be done. And he's not swayed by the bandwagon of bribery, corruption, and requesting and patronizing people so that he can get something. And I appreciated him. But just that, he said the words meant so much to him. My message to him meant so much. I told him, please, if you can replicate yourself in that your office, so everybody begin to behave like you, then the world will be a better place. Nigeria especially. Integrity is scarce in this country, no doubt about that. Integrity is very scarce. We had what happened today. I asked a man, why can't you name them and shame them? He cannot name them and shame them because even in that circle, in the anti-corruption agency, many people are corrupt. The current EFCC chairman said, when he resumed, he rebuked his staff. He had a meeting with them and said, some of you are too corrupt. You go out and make deals. That's why they fight against corruption. We can't win it. Because even the system that wants to fight corruption is self-corrupt. So, but integrity is possible. Very, very possible. Again,
on this podium, to thank everybody who has made this day glorious. Starting from God Almighty who created all of us. Without Him, we wouldn't be here at all. We wouldn't even have survived all the vicissitudes we have been through to witness this day. And we are deeply grateful to God.
The 13th anniversary lecture ended with a renewed call. For Africa to thrive in the digital age, it must protect its financial systems, secure its cyberspace, and build institutions that uphold transparency. For 13 years, Real News has remained steadfast, informing the public, fostering debate, and shaping national consciousness.
My name is Ken Ubeche. I'm a journalist, author, writer, public speaker, everything rolled into one. I'm giving a shout out to Achievement Channels, the motivational channel. Please stay hooked to Achievement Channel. Thank you.
Achievement Channel.
The Martins Oloja of the Guardian fame. And I want to shout out to Achievement and Motivational Channel that you should continue to do what you are doing because achievement is really very, very important to motivate people, to celebrate achievement, to celebrate integrity, to celebrate what is good for us that will make us a great nation. Thank you.
From Dr. Neko Kekaru, live Lagos, Pan Atlantic University. Shout out to Achievement Channel. If you're not watching Achievement Channel, I wonder what else you're doing with your time. This is the channel to watch.
A new day dawns, full of possibilities. Take the first step towards your dreams. Empower your mind with positive thoughts. Achieve more. Make a difference in someone's life today. Impossibility is nothing.
Success is not just about what you do, but how you show up. Your style speaks before you do. Style is confidence, and confidence drives success. From the boardroom to the runway, your presence matters. Welcome to Style to Success, where fashion meets ambition. Your journey to success starts with confidence. This is Style to Success, only on the Achievement Channel. Follow us at Achievement Channel for more style and success insights.
Welcome to Style to Success on Achievement Channel, the show that brings you face to face with remarkable individuals whose journeys inspire and empowers all. We are reaching you from our studio at the School of Eloquence, Lagos, Nigeria. I am Ayodele Oluwole, and today we are diving deep into the world of maritime media, a field that often goes unnoticed but plays a crucial role in our global economy. Our guest today is a true trailblazer in this field. She is a seasoned fashion stylist and a champion for youth empowerment, the founder of Marigold Fashion House and a host of other impactful initiatives. With her unwavering dedication and innovative spirit, she has not only shaped the landscape of maritime reporting, but also contributed immensely to the growth and development of the maritime sector in Nigeria. Mrs. Susan Eshet, we are honored to have you with us today. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you
so much, man. Thanks for making that time to come. We actually love your outfits. I like to say that, and I think it's one of the things that this program entails. It's Style to Success, and we love the fact that you're rocking our African prints. So I would want to start by asking you a question, man. What does style mean to you?
Well, thank you so much once again. I'm talking about my style, and you made mention of the wearing of Ankara. I took that decision some 7 years ago, thereabout, that no more Western suits, no more, ties and all those things. It's going to be African wear. And I got inspiration from Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, when she became Minister of Economic, and she was always wearing Ankara. And one of those days I had a meeting with her in our office, and I just said, this is this woman's style. Style could be anything to anybody. It could be what you are as a professional. It could be what you are as a person. Your style determines who you are, determines what you come up with, what you become at the end of your journey on earth. People will remember you for what kind of style you had. If you're simple, if you're robust, if you're elaborate. So to me, my style is me. Because now people see me as, oh, she only wears Ankara. If you see me with something else, it means it's a tight situation. But once I walk into a room like this, I feel proud to be an African and an African woman.
Wow, it feels good to hear this, actually. I love the fact that you're promoting our culture through fashion, because we're trying to project what we represent as Africans to the rest of the world. So wearing our own, locally made, fabric is a very good one. So that's quite impressive. And I'd like to say, Ma, how does, style, inspire success for you?
Like I said, it's Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala that, inspired that in me. And I said, if she, at her level, could have confidence and wear just African clothing, then why not me? And the first time I walked into the office on a Monday and I was wearing this, it was like, everybody was like, what is she doing? But to answer your question, it shows how confident you can be as a person and as a professional. That's what it brings out in me, the confidence. If you can wear this for an event, then that means you have a lot of confidence.
Thank you so much.
It's
so good to hear that from you, man. So I like to say, Mrs. Susan, how do you come about your fabric? Where do you shop for them? How accessible are these fabrics? Because I need to be sincere, I love African prints. And when I see people rocking African prints, there is an impression I get from it. I just feel good saying that. So I just like to say how accessible that's for people who would love to look like you, who would want their style, who wants to rock the African prints, who wants to wear our own thing. How accessible has it been for you getting these fabrics, and how easy has it been getting stylists that can put them together and project a very good image of it?
That's a very good question, and it also comes with our country, Nigeria, we used to have a very vibrant textile industry, but all of a sudden, all that wilted away. So a lot of these fabrics are imported, which is very sad. I wish something could be done about that so that we can go back to what we used to make and what we're wearing. They're very accessible, but now with the inflation and the economic situation is quite pricey. But it's something that I love, and so I'll go out of my way to get it. And then there is no fashion designer or tailor that cannot make all this. They're all over the place. You go to the market, Balogun market, they'll give you different types. There are the low price ones, the middle price ones, and the high price ones. And so the high price ones are the ones that are produced in Holland, the Hollandish stuff. Those ones are quite high prices, and they last, they don't fade. Then you have the middle price ones and the low price ones. So it depends on who you are, style coming in, the kind of person you are, your character, your projection of yourself, and your profession. So you decide to pick the low price one, but you make something out of it, it's still the same thing. And so it's quite accessible, but my appeal will be that the government should look at our textile industry and see how we can start all over again and get the textile industry working, because all these things are brought in from Ghana, from Cote d'Ivoire, from Holland. Not much is made in Nigeria anymore.
True, I agree with you to an extent, man. But I just want to quickly chip something in that, we still have some people that still do, local production of some of these African prints. Especially the Ashoke, the Adire, yes. Which, the prints are actually beautiful as well. They're as beautiful as Ankara. But
they cannot be mass produced.
True.
You have to do some mass production to get things like this. Okay. So that's why I'm still making that appeal that the federal government or state government should do something about the textile industry.
Yeah, I was going to say that because I feel we actually need to try to rejuvenate those industries so that, it will help the economy as well. Apart from, helping the GDP of the nation, it's going to, create more employment, and people will gravitate towards, wearing our own thing. So our local content will be promoted that way.
Well
it's a
said.
good one.
Well
It's a good
said.
one. Well done, man. And
Thank you
it's
so
nice
much.
to have you on the show.
Thank you
and
very
we'll
much.
take a short break and we'll be right back.
Your journey to success starts with confidence. This is Style to Success, only on the Achievement Channel.
Are you in governance?
You need public speaking.
Are you in business?
You need public speaking.
Are you a professional?
You need public speaking.
Now you too can learn how to overcome nervousness and speak with confidence before any audience at the School of Eloquence, the home of public speaking.
Attend our practical and training one-on-one coaching with West Africa's only certified speaking professional at any of our centers in Lagos and Abuja.
To register, call 0802 3032 066 or 0706 1606 078 or log on to our website schoolofeloquence.org. School of Eloquence,
Teaching the world to speak.
Your journey to success starts with confidence. This is Style to Success, only on the Achievement Channel.
So welcome back, and we're still on the show Style to Success on the Achievement Channel. We still have our maybe guest on the show, Mrs. Susan. I have been having some questions and some good time with Mrs. Susan on the show, and she's been sharing insightful ideas about how she has really been inspired in terms of fashion and style. So we're back to the show. Mrs. Susan, I hope you're fine, ma, and I hope you're enjoying the show. Mrs. Susan, I'd like to ask, what are some of your proudest accomplishments in this game?
Proudest accomplishment as a woman working in an industry that is really men-oriented, and so you are able to prove yourself, not trying to prove yourself to be better than the men, no, trying to prove yourself to be able to come up with ideas, strategies, plans, and do as much as what the industry wanted to do. I mean, being in the oil and gas industry, it was quite challenging, trying to do things, go offshore, climb up baskets, do this, do that. But, as a woman, you are able to do all those things. So I'm proud of myself that we were able to come out fine, and we were able to do most of the things that our male counterparts will do.
That's a good one. Impressive. And one last question, man. I'd like to ask that, what advice would you give someone who wants to become a stylist? Talking about, becoming a stylist in a climate like Nigeria.
Oh, like the program says, style to success. Like I said before, I picked my inspiration from meeting Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and I mean, the difference between her, I mean, she had long skirts, while I prefer the shorter ones. And there she was as a minister of the finance, and then for the coordinating economy. And she was always in meetings, going from one place to another, and still in her long, skirts with ankara and her turban. So, and I was like, if she could do this, and even do it at the World Bank level, where she was having meetings and all that, then why not do it in Nigeria? So there's nothing you cannot achieve, whether you're wearing ankara, or you're wearing ashoke, or you're wearing akwete, or you're wearing, whatever native, clothing we have. Your style is your style, and it's what you make out of it, and that's what you become. I mean, like what you're also wearing. I mean, before you could see male folks were always in suits, but now I see a lot of guys also dressing down, wearing this, and it's as comfortable as what you could wish for. So your style is your style, and whatever you make out of it is what comes out of it.
Wow, that's a good one. And I have to make a brief comment that, like, what I'm wearing, we are now getting used to it. It's becoming, part of us. There are companies now where they wear, trousers like this to work on a regular basis. They don't even wear suit and tie, and also it's becoming part of a culture. And apart from that, we're exporting that culture to other parts of the world, because there are countries, there are some countries now, they allow this to be, you wear it on some days to work. And
that's style to success.
Exactly. So we are getting there.
Yes.
So it's a good one. So I'd like to ask you the last question on this show, and that would be, what are the most important lessons that you learned along, this business?
It's your comfort level, your confidence. You must do things that you're confident with, or you have confidence, and you must do things that you're comfortable with. So for me, making up my mind to drop the jackets and the shirts was just a step. And then making up my mind to wear this African wear, and walking into the office that Monday morning, and everybody was like, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, this is my style now. This is me now. That's the confidence level you have.
And I'm sure that must have, created a lot of impact, in your immediate environment.
Because suddenly, some of my colleagues were also changing. You go for business meetings, and you're like, you're coming for a business plan. I said, well, that's why I have short skirts and top jackets, to make it more business-like, instead of looking like somebody going to church or going for a party or whatever. So it's more business-like. And really, for me, it was like the most important thing is having that confidence to say, it is what I am. And what I am is that I'm a professional and I'm an achiever.
Wow, that's a good one. Thank you so much, Mrs. Susan. It's really been a pleasure having you on the show. And I must confess, I've learned one or two things from you. This is such an impactful interview. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you coming. To our viewers, we hope you are motivated to explore the vast opportunities within the fashion industry and to make your own mark, just like Mrs. Susan. I am Ayodele Oluwole, and this has been Style to Success on the Achievement Channel. Until next time, stay inspired.
Whose saying holds a powerful truth. Just as farmers seize the sunny days to harvest hay for the future, we too must seize opportunities when they present themselves. So, here are 3 key insights to help you maximize the inspiration embedded within the depths of this age-old wisdom. First is about seizing opportunities. Opportunities often come fleetingly, much like the sun breaking through the clouds. It's not enough to recognize them, we must act swiftly and decisively. Whether it is with starting a new business or pursuing a passion or seizing a career opportunity, the time to act is now. Entrepreneurs or leaders who saw a gap in the market and acted swiftly. They didn't just wait for perfect conditions. If anything at all, they created their own opportunities by simply making hay while the sun was shining. The second insight is about preparation and readiness. We must understand that making hay while the sun shines isn't just about seizing opportunities. It is also about preparations. Farmers prepare well in advance. How? By planting, nurturing, and even harvesting when the time is right. Similarly, we must prepare ourselves mentally, emotionally, skillfully, if we are ever to make the most of every opportunity that comes our way. Preparation breeds readiness. When you're prepared, you're confident and capable of taking action when the opportunity arises. It's always about aligning your skills, your knowledge, your mindset, your attitude to maximize your chances of This is Mr. Motivator signing off from Timeless Capsule right here on the Achievement.
Welcome to Achievement, the show that speaks to men striving for more. Broadcasting from the School of Eloquence in Ikoyi, Lagos, on Nigeria's first and only 100% motivational TV station, the Achievement Channel. I am your host, Martins Oloye. Today's episode is The Burden of Silence, Why Men Don't Share Their Struggles. Joining me to discuss and do justice to this topic are accomplished gentlemen, Victor Diali, managerial psychologist, leadership expert, and certified coach with over 26 years experience, trusted by global organizations to build better leaders, and Akin Opatola, a trailblazing real estate professional, president of FAIRC Nigeria, and mentor who's shaping future of real estate across Africa. Together, they will help us to unpack the cultural, emotional, and personal weights men carry and how we can create safe spaces for real conversations. This is Achievement, not just inspiration, but blueprints for action. You've been watching Achievement with Martin Zoloye right here on the Achievement channel. Today, we are discussing something quite touching, something that we don't talk about because we all believe that the male child is strong, especially in this part of Africa. And our topic is talking about why men don't share their struggles. Gentlemen, welcome to this very, very emotional part of our episodes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So why I started with saying it's the emotional part is big boys don't cry. Is that what they say? Men don't cry.
Yeah.
And from your faces alone, you've grown up. I can see you're strong. But we all know to whom much is given, much is expected. The same bandwidth works for emotional, you know, I don't want to call it luggage that people carry, but it's deep. It's a lot. And I'll say thank you for what you've been doing so far in your respective fields. You are doing a wonderful job. So, I'll go straight to the point because it's going to evolve as we go on. I'll start with you, Victor. I say men should not complain. And your name is Victorious Victor. I think I'll call you that. He's a popular coach for that.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Why are you called that? Let's even...
Well, so it's an interesting story, and thank you for having me. It's really an honor to be on this set. So Victorious Victor, it happened in November. It happened in November. It was on the 22nd in 2009. And it's quite interesting because, you know, I was driving to church with my family and some armed robbers accosted us, you know, carjacked us, took over the car, put us in the back seat, had a gun on my wife's neck. Top speed, they pushed my wife out and kept driving with us and drove us to a bush, you know, and it was my nephew and I. They asked me to jump into the bush. I jumped with all of my strength, and the next thing I heard was, "Pow!" They shot me in the back. Left side of my back, bullet came out, left side of my chest. And, you know, lying down there in the pool of my own blood, in fact, I thought I was dead. I thought the next thing I would see would be bright lights and angels singing "Welcome Home," you know. I didn't see any bright lights. I didn't see any angels. What I saw was pure water nylon. That's when I knew this must be Nigeria. You know, I'm still here. And, you know, I was really shocked that I was alive. I had another chance to live. And so while I was there, I began to think about it, that, wow, I'm still alive. You know, I'm not dead. And I've not yet fulfilled my purpose in life. I cannot die now. It's not yet time. And so I felt that I had a reason to live. And so that gave me strength. I pulled myself up, and then I managed to get to the road. It was an expressway. Now I realize it was Abeokuta Expressway. I stood in the middle of the road and nobody was willing to help. Some cars would drive close to me, slow down, take a good look at me from head to toe. They see the blood gushing from my chest, my nose, my mouth. They'll change their gear and zoom off. It was a Sunday morning, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. They were rushing to church because I saw big Bibles on the dashboards. And I just felt life going out of me. But somehow I knew I had about 5 minutes to live. And I just kept saying to myself, someone will stop. Someone will stop. Someone will help me. It's not yet time. Someone will help me. And true to my word, someone stopped. It was a rickety bus. The guy helped me, took me to a hospital. And that's how I survived. And so since then, you know, I started thinking, when I got to the hospital, they moved me to Reddington Specialist Hospital. While recuperating, I was just thinking, so maybe this is why my parents named me Victor, right? Because I was just victorious over death. Death was staring me in the face, and I got victorious over death. So I said, from today on, I'm Victorious Victor.
That's a... I said it was going to be emotional, touching, yes, but that's a really, really good start.
And then, to confirm it again, I realized that, you know, I got married. In fact, yesterday was my 25th wedding anniversary. Okay? And I realized that when we got married, we expected in 9 months we'll have a child. 1 year passed, 2 years passed, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We waited 18 years. And now we have 3 children. Okay. So it really makes me realize I'm truly victorious, you know. So I'm Victorious Victor.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in at once, even for our wonderful viewers. We're going to start taking it piecemeal.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful way to start. And that has put us on the pedestal on how this episode of this show would go.
True.
And we're trying to actually look at what it means to be a man in this part of the world. So I will let you start so that you can take, you know, just briefly, so we can enjoy everything we're doing.
Yeah.
Why do we believe that men, you know, the cultural part of this world, why do we believe that men don't complain?
So in psychology, there's something called conditioning, right? I think that's a major part of it. We've been conditioned like that. It's not like that's how it's supposed to be, right? Because male and female, though different in some ways, okay, different in some ways, but we are all humans, right? We all have a heart. Inside the heart, there's a small part of the heart called the amygdala. The amygdala is the headquarters of emotion. Women have it, men have it, right? There's an emotional brain. Sorry, I meant brain, not heart. There's an emotional brain. The amygdala in the brain is that part of the brain that manages our emotions, okay? Women have it, men have it. So what really makes us different in terms of emotions, right? But somehow, our world, our culture, our tradition has conditioned us that men should not complain. Men should not cry. You know, men should go out and struggle and come back. And when you face challenges, you should, you know, not complain. Face it headlong and succeed with it, and then come home with the spoils. And you know, so that conditioning is the problem. So when there's a challenge, a child, a boy falls and starts to cry, we say, no, don't cry. Don't you know you're a boy? You're a boy now. And so that conditioning, and remember, whatever we've been conditioned with from childhood, we take into adulthood. It's extremely difficult to break.
You mentioned, and quite right, frankly, that conditioning is there.
Yeah.
To you now, a bit of my background. I grew up literally in the barracks. So my friends, my mates, my colleagues, it's difficult for me not to, if I'm not calling Colonel, I'm calling this, so just that's our way of life. So I literally had guns in classrooms. So I see it every day, we have the parade every day, and it is a man thing to be, you must, you chin up, you be hard, you know. So what do you think? Why is it so? Because it's there, we all know, even right at this age and time. I go beat you, am I picking, you know, it's from Delta, so you understand that part. So why is this so, and is this something that you think should continue?
Okay,
So for me, I think it shouldn't continue. I think it's not proper. Every man should show emotions once in a while and let loose. That's on one hand. I think it is also condition of the mind. Over time, culturally, it has always played that narrative. For me, I've been fortunate. My background is not like yours, that is a bit hardened.
Is it?
So I was opportune. My dad was a retired ambassador, so we've always lived we spent 3 years in one country, 3 years back in Nigeria. So I had the opportunity to do primary school, and it's opportunity and not an opportunity, because I spent primary school in 2 different countries. And in those countries, you know how it is. Men are allowed to, young boys, you can cry. So that was the way myself and my senior brother were brought up. Yes, we've had to condition ourselves again when we come back to Nigeria. We did part of our primary school here, and we noticed that, well, this is how I cry, you get a CBO and things like that. Then we had to man up again until we travel back again. Culturally, those countries again, they say, look, there's nothing wrong. Cry, clean your tears. Hit the road back again. So I see I have some friends now that even when I find that balance, because yes, I know that men should be strong, but of course, you should have your quiet time. Be able to break down, speak to people, share your thoughts, open up emotionally. People say that can be a bit feminine. I'm like that. I get laughed at, but hey, I guess that's the way I modeled.
Before I give you the next question, I have, okay, we lost some, God rest their souls. Even soldiers, they cry, but we can't say it publicly. So I think that should set the stage. So it's okay to feel the weight. We are all emotional beings. So in some cases, they channel it to say, morale high, morale not high. We just need somewhere to channel our, I don't want to use the word grievances, but the emotional, bandwidths. And now these days, people are no longer looking at intelligence quotient again. They want emotional quotient, IQ, EQ, because you can be smart and destroy everything. You can be very intelligent and your IQ is high up there and you still don't know how to manage people, and you mess up a lot of things. And this is something that has shown in the larger society. I'm asking this, I'm putting this forward. I would like to take it because from your profile, you speak a lot to people, you encourage them, you speak to them, you've raised a lot of people, especially young boys. What are the dangers? I'll give you the sequel question, but I'll ask you first, Victor. What are the dangers of suppressing and bottling up emotions? Take it from the angle of young and old people. When I say old, people like us that now have children that very soon they'll start knocking on our doors to say, Oga, come and marry, pay dowry. So how do you balance it? Because life will bring you everything. You lose friends, you lose people, you lose businesses, you lose trust in people that you are relying on. And as a man, that's pretty difficult. And I'm happy he was swinging from cry, don't cry, cry, don't cry. So he knows he has a balance. So for you now, Nigerian perspective properly from your experience.
So from the Nigerian perspective,
why is it dangerous to suppress it?
It's quite challenging, right? So like you said, that conditioning needs to be broken. Okay, we need to find a way to resolve that, because life is not really like that. That's not a true reflection of life, because in life we will face challenges, we will face problems, and we need to be able to express our emotions, because if we don't express our emotions, we become depressed. Okay, so as young people, we need to let them know it's okay. It's okay to show your emotions. It's okay to cry. It's okay to ask for help. Vulnerability is not a lack of strength. It's not a lack of strength. It's okay to show your vulnerability. But then we help people understand that even though it's okay to share your vulnerabilities, it's also important to manage your vulnerabilities. So for example, there are certain places you may not show those emotions openly. You may go somewhere else, you may go into a quiet corner, you may wait for a while, and you can manage those emotions. But what is important is that you express them. And it has a lot of implications. One of them being health implications. Because the more you bottle up emotions, the more you raise your stress levels. And we all know that there are hormones that get released into the body, into the blood, when you're highly stressed, cortisol, and that hardens the arteries. I'm not a medical doctor, but I think this is common knowledge. And as we grow older, there are certain things we experience in our middle age and in our old age. They start from when we were young. These things begin to build up, and we don't know. So it's important for us to help young people understand that these things have grave implications, not just health-wise, even for our relationships. When you hear about husband killing wife or wife killing husband, sometimes it's because there are bottled up emotions. There are issues that have not been discussed. And then in the middle of the night, someone takes a knife and stabs the other.
You've moved on to the next question. We're quickly going to go on break. We're going to get to that part because it's something that is very, very critical, which I would love us to discuss. There's a song by Birdie on America Got Talent, I think. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. The girl had cancer. Original song. You can look it up on YouTube. I think you should. Well, there will always be problems, and our grace to carry it to the end mattered. So, in other perspectives, especially the office space and friendship, not relationship, friendship, how dangerous is it to suppress your emotional luggage?
So I think it's extremely dangerous and it's very risky. There are a lot of conversations now, especially with a certain demographic, the Gen Zs in the workplace, with mental health and depression issues. You see staff members come in, work fantastically well this week. Then the following week, due to one or two traumas or bottled up emotions, whether male or female, then all of a sudden they let loose in the office, which can be tough. Before now, we couldn't put a finger on it. It's now that those conversations, and it's is a topical conversation. Oh, it's mental stress. Oh, take a few days. Human resources can understand. But imagine back in the days, they'll say, is this person mentally okay? Are you sure this person is fit for work? If you'd also notice that there's a prevalence of gyms and people even of our demographic and lower doing a lot of exercises, what I found out that it is also a way of releasing stress and depression. So there are a lot of fitness centers out there. A lot of people go there. In fact, that's a whole new industry. Yeah. They are gymming their way out of issues, anxiety, problems. And I like the fact that you also touched on it. To me, I may be wrong, but even serial killers, back in the days when you watch some of these movies, they've told the male child, oh boy, don't cry, they don't do this. And he's seeing, he's bottling up. He's seeing his parents' abusive relationship. He's bringing it. There's no psychologist, there's nobody, no church member, no senior brother or colleague to be able to unveil and share those things. He's bottling it up. Pressure has to come out one way or the other. It's tough.
We'll go on a break, but pressure, like that popular guy said, pressure to wow. Yo, baby, pressure to wow. So we need to find a way to not bottle it up. And as we go on this break, remember, it is not okay not to express. So you can do gym and do everything. When we come back, I'll talk to you about how 40-something-year-olds like us are still trying to be gymming without going to the gym. See you on the other side.
Eloquence focuses attention on the message and the audience.
I find it very interesting, exciting, stimulating.
It was very beneficial.
Definitely would learn a lot, a whole lot.
Thank you. The delivery was second to none.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
Welcome back, welcome back. So let me just chip in. Go to the gym without being in the gym. So what I do, or what some of my friends do, is you do your squats, use your body weight for squats. Don't do too much. Some of us, our cardio cannot take it. Your abs is, there's so much fat, you can't do it. At your pace, 40, 40, 40. 40 push-ups, 40 squats, 40 jumping jacks, whatever you want to do, take it at your pace. But one of the things you must do is carrying weight, which is your body weight. Then you can now gravitate towards the gym. I'll tell you the secrets when we finish this show. But let's just continue. So, how you started this, and I mentioned that we need to continue. Yes. Bottling up, how does it affect the relationship? On the home front now, you will talk about the office, but on the home front, that bottling up, just how does it affect?
So it affects relationships in lots of ways. There's something really special that God has given us, and that's relationship. We were created as relational humans. You know, even in the Holy Book, God came down to fellowship with man, and that's when man was running around, you know, saying that he was naked. And so this is the thing: we were created to have relationships, and one of the lifebloods of relationship is communication. Without communication, relationship is dead, right? And so when we bottle up our emotions, when we bottle up our fears, what that does is communicate, and we don't know we're communicating something negative. So when we bottle up our emotions, the other partner feels that, oh, he doesn't trust me enough with his emotions, or she doesn't trust me enough with her emotions. So it's really important for us to learn to communicate our feelings, our emotions, rather than bottle them up. Because if we don't share them, it will destroy the relationship.
If you share with your wife and your wife is laughing at you,
but
what do you now do?
Before we do go on to that, there's one problem we have as men. One major challenge we have as men. And if you're watching, you've got to really go and learn about this. Men typically don't have the vocabulary to share emotions. When we share emotions, we use words that make us feel that we're failing. We're not showing up as men. We don't have the vocabulary to share. So we've got to go back and learn the vocabulary, how to share our feelings, rather than take it out on someone. So rather than share our feelings, talk about, oh, this is how this makes me feel, right? I feel anxious at this time. Rather, we find a way to still look masculine and strong without the vulnerability that comes with it. So we don't use the right vocabulary, and that's a problem. So we've really got to go back and learn, and in that way reprogram ourselves. Just like for you to really speak good English, you've got to go and learn eloquence. And that's why you come to the School of Eloquence.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you bore people when speaking? Are you stuck with reading word for word? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
the home of public speaking. Attend our practical coaching in public speaking. Call 0802-303-2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Because you can speak, yes, you can have conversations, but you've got to learn the vocabulary and what it takes to speak in a way that touches people, that makes impact, and that creates power. So the danger is that your relationship dies, and when your relationships die, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to succeed alone, right? Like I said, we were created relational human beings, and then we've talked about the medical side of things, right? As we bottle up our emotions and our feelings, there's a tendency for us to develop other, medical issues that would take us to the hospital and probably death.
Well, the ultimate, of course, of life is death. So bottling up can actually kill.
It can kill you.
So for the office space.
So for the office space, it's quite a challenge. For me as MD CEO, I've learned to become an emotional manager. So what we try to do is when we have team meetings, we don't just delve into the business of the day. So what's your target? Have you met it? What have you done? What new business have you brought to the office? We have 5 days to the end of the month. Who's bringing us money? Things like that. We just try. So I've learned that also, that, hey, okay, you guys, who has anything nice to celebrate? Did anything interesting happen over the weekend? So that any good news? Oh, you lost your aunt. Oh, sorry, was she dear to you? So sometimes it's even tough for me because I'm like, Hakim, you're paying salary on Friday, which concern me with one auntie, but you just have to try. Then they begin to come out. I'm like, so this thing I read in this book, so this thing I watch in this movie, so it's true. Then they begin to come out. Nobody has asked them. They are coming up with stiff pressures from the house, and it's tough. And one of our core values is teamwork. When I finish my team meeting, they go out, they need to work together for that collaboration and participation. Then to me, I've noticed that when I'm in a good mood, I've shared with my wife, I'm happy, that's when I can be given 1 or 2 bonuses. Okay, let's increase salary next month. But when I'm stressed, I've bottled up, I've not shared, there's one burden that I've brought to the office, even me too, I'm shouting at them. Who wrote this report? Rubbish, this is the way I taught you. Get out from it. And they're wondering, Then the thing begins to trickle down. Which kind of guy be this? Must you shout? Can't you guide us? Then me too, and I start regretting. This guy just resumed with us 2 months ago. Yeah. I've not really carried him along. Then the whole thing just trickles down negatively. Then I feel bad. I've also noticed that my staff members are like my family. I spend more time. I get to the office 7 a.m. I don't leave until 5:36. When I get home, I eat, watch TV, sleep off. Early in the morning, third mainland bridge traffic. So I spend more time with you people. So you people are my family. So I need to know what happens to you guys. What are the good news we need to celebrate? So that even if they don't have ways to ease off pressure, create one and a safe space.
Wow. Excellent take, both of you. It is, when you are going, you pick speed. Gear 1, and these days we now have gear 7. You know what I mean? And for those of you that love auto, get on the autobahn. No, nothing is stopping you. So 2 things we are going to take now from your takes, and I'll start from you, but I'll let you say it first. Then we're going to talk about safe spaces. Yeah. You mentioned family. I'm coming back to you for family. Victor. I noticed that the way leadership and who the person that is leading is reflects directly on the children. It mirrors, directly. Stockholm syndrome, or whatever you want to call it, whether the good way or the bad way. The same thing applies to men. Today we're not talking about fatherhood and parenting. We're talking about men. Beer parlor in this part of the world. Yeah. In other places, lounges, men's group, polo club, country club, golf club are ways to ease out. So it means that the avenue to talk is important for men, like what we're doing. So how do you think we can create more safe spaces for men that we talk? Because when alcohol is in the body, or you are watching football and people talk, and you'll be wondering, now this is not going with this, and like you can't put the two together. They're like two strange people. Yeah. So how do we create those safe spaces and for men to know that, look, speak, be a baby, be yourself again. Yeah. Say the way it is from your perspective. Take your time.
So here's the thing. When we bottle up our emotions and our feelings, we tend to increase our stress levels, right? When stress increases in the body, we usually would develop a coping mechanism. This is natural. We find a way to cope with the stress, okay? And what we tend to do as men to cope with the stress is, like you said, turn to alcohol. Because while you're drinking the alcohol, it sort of deadens your pain at that time. But please remember that pain it deadened. It was only sleeping. When you finish the alcohol, when the thing clears from your eye, it's waiting for you. You go and carry it again. So it's not really a solution. And alcohol, like you said, is dangerous. Alcohol kills more people than weed, for example. Right? So this is the thing. So we tend to turn to habits or mechanisms that are not healthy for us. So we need to find a way, like you said, to create safe ways of expressing our emotions. And, like when we are in a beer parlor or a bar or something, people talk, right? But watch what they talk about. Most of the time, they don't talk about their deepest pains. They don't talk about their struggles. They talk about football. They talk about women. They talk about, all of those things. And all those things are surface things. The real issues, when a man, for example, is facing impotence, for example, and it's weighing down on him. That's not ephemeral. Please, who's going to talk? Who's going to tell his friend that, look, oh boy, they stand again, So we need to understand that it's okay to discuss these things. So we need to now promote things like, men's clubs. There are programs on TV, on radio that usually have men's roundtable. You hear about women's roundtable. You hear about all women always have one event or the other, to go to. But how many do men have? So we need to encourage the society, encourage people to come up with events that men can go to and have conversations, even in church. For example, during Christmas, right? There are bags of rice for widows. There's nothing for widowers. Almost nothing. I don't hear of any program by organizations, by churches, religious organizations. I don't hear anything about widowers. But sometimes you have a man who's lost his wife and he's catering for 5 children. Has to go to work, has to make money, he has to make food for them. So many challenges, and there's nobody to turn to. When he goes to someone, they say, but you're a man. Now, this is what makes you a man. So we need to create those safe spaces. In other countries, there would be parks. And just walking around the park, you can have conversations, right? You can have conversations. But when Governor Fashola was starting to bring back the green spaces and the parks and all of those things, people were saying, now flower we go chop. But now flower we go chop.
Those are the things that make every community different. Parks, you can, in fact, you walk, you can't do 30 minutes walk in some places. You can. It's vivid, I can picture it. You can't do in some places I not see a good park. Now, for this same question, you are raising very valid points. Of course, for want of, there are so many limiting things like time also.
Yes, of course.
There's something you just raised. Widowers. I flip it. Most leaders in the world right now, women representation is poor. Before you start saying I'm feminist too, I'm feminist at the same time. But the truth is, so because the representation for now is so poor, the people leading us, even in Nigeria, are mostly men. These same men that were not taken care of mentally are the ones leading. And you are wondering why the country or most of the world is running like this. So, to the suit and tie people, because that's what you are today now, why is creating these safe spaces very key? Because we are building men. What we are seeing is end product. You are a result of all the things that you have imbibed, the books you've read, the people you've gone through the people that have gone through you've gone through. Yeah. So why is it important to create these safe spaces? Because you spend most time at work. So it means that your life is actually work, quote and unquote, to say. So why is it important to create good men, great places, spaces in the workspace?
Okay, so I think is extremely critical. And you touched on it. So in our respective places, we are seen as leaders. And as a leader, you should be able to have that balance. People are looking up to you as a mentor, and those your mentees, when you see them struggling. And there's nothing wrong in raising up your hand and say, hey, I'm struggling. But you see, they may not know. And this is where the coaching and the guidance comes in. So if you perceive one or two things, you can say, hey, John, please come. Is everything okay? I may not be okay financially, but let me hear your problems. Because I see the flip side of it. If I go and ask John now money, even me too, I'm struggling. But you can still, sometimes it might not be financial. So you can reach out to them, find out what the challenges are. To me, I feel, and you see, the world is changing. Back in the days, we had only two genders, male and female. Now we have close to 76. To me, I also feel it is a part of the mental struggles that people are going through. Oh, me, to marry another female, to date another female, it's not for me. I want to date somebody of the other sex. Or me, this is the way God created me, but I think I want to move to something else. And it's going to get more, it's going to also get worse. So we need to also understand that. But you see, these are real struggles. People need to be able to call people out. And I see where you can have close friends, senior colleagues. Some people even find it in where they worship, whether in mosque or in churches, where you can lean on somebody and say, hey, this is the challenge I am having in terms of stress. I had a friend, let me just share this real quick. His own struggle was he's closer to 35. He has never dated anybody before. He doesn't know how to go about it. He's worried. He thought he would have even gotten married by now. And he said, look, this is his own big challenge. So if he had a senior, doesn't have a senior brother, he doesn't have any guidance, so to speak, somebody that can just put him through, mentor him. So we can look back and say, small thing like this, I've dated several people, but that's his own problem. Yeah. And I'm happy that he can. I'm happy that he could share. So imagine him meeting the right person. I say, oh, this is something I can just easily guide you through a couple of lessons, and you will now become somebody that is stronger, have confidence to approach ladies, and it's a minor thing. So that will be it for me.
As usual, we want to spend so much time with you. I know you've picked one or two things, but this is my parting shots. Life is like swimming. When you're tired, ask for help, or you will drown. But before you drown, you will sink. That sinking is what you should not do. Raise your hand, ask for help, and everything will be fine. Thank you so much for this wonderful episode.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure people will request for more. This is nice. Special thanks to our guests, Victor Diali and Akin, for sharing insights that challenge and inspire. Remember, being a man is more than titles or expectations. It is about resilience, purpose, and lifting others as you rise. Let's continue this important conversation. Follow Achievement Channel on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, Twitter, and YouTube for more Achievement program and updates. Use the hashtag We See Possibilities and share your thoughts with us. Until next time, keep striving, keep growing, and keep achieving.
Hi, my name is Olufemi Shea. I'm CEO of Casafina Development. I'd like to tell you this. Keep watching Achievement Channel.
Hello, my name is Roma Daniels. This is Achievement Channel. Please keep watching Achievement Channel, the first and only motivational channel in the country. Thanks, man.
Good day and welcome to Achievement News, right on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first 100% motivational television. My name is Comfort Idongise Basi, your guide through the stories of triumph, innovation, and positive impact shaping our world. Broadcasting live from our School of Eloquence studio in Ikoyi, Lagos, we bring you the news that truly inspires. At Achievement News, we believe in celebrating human ingenuity, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of progress. We sift through the headlines to bring you the breakthroughs, the milestones, and the uplifting narratives that prove possibilities around and true achievement is within reach for everyone. Our top story in global health brings a monumental breakthrough for millions worldwide. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic in the United States have announced the development of a new blood test with remarkable accuracy for detecting early symptoms of Alzheimer's diseases. And this revolution test boasts an impressive 95% accuracy in detection and an 82% accuracy in ruling out the condition. And this is a game changer, moving us beyond invasive and costly procedures like the PET scan, offering a far more accessible and affordable diagnostic tool for this devastating neurodegenerative disease.
Alzheimer's disease, amyloid plaques that exist in the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease. The reason it's so exciting is that as a blood test, it's a very easy and accessible way for us to find people who have Alzheimer's disease pathology.
This breakthrough reminds us that even against the most complex challenges, human ingenuity persists. Never give up on the pursuit of solutions, and your persistent effort in any field can unlock breakthroughs that changes lives forever. We see possibilities. Bringing it home, Nigeria has showcased remarkable commitment to its health sector on the global stage. At the recent 15th BRICS Health Ministers meeting in Brazil, Nigeria's Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isaac Saluko, proudly announced a national record: the vaccination of over 14 million girls against human papillomavirus, or HPV. This massive effort is a huge stride towards cervical cancer prevention. Furthermore, Nigeria has allocated a significant $200 million in its 2025 budget to sustain critical interventions against HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, underscoring our nation's resolve to prioritize health even amidst global funding shifts. Every step taken in collective health is a step towards collective strength. Your personal commitment to well-being and community health contributes to a healthier, more prosperous nation for all. We see possibilities. From global health to global education, UNESCO is sparking a powerful vision for the future. Marking the 10-year anniversary of the International Day of Women and Girls in Science, UNESCO has launched its Imagine a World with More Women in Science campaign. This initiative champions the essential role women play in driving progress in STEM fields, highlighting how diversity leads to more inclusive research, greater creativity, and ultimately solutions that truly meet everyone's needs. The campaign aims to bridge the persistent gender gap in scientific communities worldwide. Let this campaign ignite your curiosity, challenge stereotypes in your own life, and encourage the next generation, especially our girls, to explore every field from science to art. The potential is limitless, and we see possibilities. And speaking of limitless potential, a Nigerian youth has made our nation proud on the global stage. Stanley Chudubem Anigbogu clinched the prestigious overall title of 2025 Commonwealth Young Person of the Year. Stanley was recognized for his groundbreaking work transforming waste into solar innovations, which have provided clean energy to over 10,000 refugees across Africa. Founded during the challenging period of COVID-19, has also trained 6,000 students and recycled over 20,000 kilograms of waste. Stanley's story is a powerful reminder that age is just a number when passion meets purpose. No challenge is too big when you approach it with creativity and a desire to make a difference. Inspire change in your own sphere. We see possibilities. Tune in again for more achievement news, your daily source of positivity. Visit us at www.achievementchannel.com and join the movement #WeSeePossibilities. That's all on the achievement news for today. Remember, every day brings new opportunities for growth, progress, and impact. Keep achieving, keep inspiring, and most importantly, keep believing in the power of possibility. My name is Comfort Idongse Basi, and I'm wishing you a truly impactful day.
Welcome to Teachers World, where we celebrate the heroes of education. Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
Hello, and welcome to another inspiring episode of Teachers World, the program that celebrates the pivotal role of educators in shaping the future and provides valuable resources for their professional and personal growth. I am Ugonwa Ohuchi, your host, and I'm delighted to be with you today. You are watching the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first and only 100% motivational TV station, broadcasting from the School of Eloquence studio in Ikoyi, Lagos. In today's episode, we'll be diving deep into how teachers can support the mental health of their students and foster a positive learning environment. It's going to be an insightful session, so stay tuned.
Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
I'm thrilled to introduce our guest today, Ms. Sarah Ndo. She's an educational psychologist and a dedicated mental health advocate who specializes in children and adolescents. She believes in a world where no child is neglected and every child receives the right education tailored to their unique learning style. Ms. Ndo, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So in your experience, knowing that you're an educational psychologist, what are some of the key mental health challenges that children and adolescents face today?
Okay, yes. Thank you so much for asking. Okay, in my experience, adolescents and children, they face quite a number of mental health challenges. And firstly, mental health is a crucial part of teaching and learning. A lot of children and adolescents face mental health challenges, which is neglected by either their parents or their teachers. And I will just make mention of few challenges here. One, let's talk about anxiety and stress. Anxiety and stress, a lot of children and adolescents are anxious and under stress because of, let's say, an expectation from family, expectation from parents, peer pressure, thereabouts. Parents do. A lot of times, most of these parents are actually more busy. They go to work very early in the morning. Before they come back, probably they have someone who picks their child from school, and they come back because of the hustle and the bustle of Lagos. They get back home, they're all tired. They pay less attention to their children. So we teachers pay more attention to these children because we spend more time. So first of all, we are the ones who can figure out that a child is struggling mentally. And when we can do that, we begin to observe. We observe their academic performance, their socializing skill, if they isolate themselves or they are just irritable, they just flare up just by a little thing, they're angry or whatever. So one, we're able to observe, and while we observe that, we educators or teachers are supposed to now call this child, draw the attention of this child, and have a conversation, not being judgmental, have a conversation, just get to know what the matter is. Is there something, is there a problem at home? And by the time the teachers have had that conversation, they can now, furthermore take it to the parents, get to involve the parents of this child and pay attention to it. Furthermore, if it's, something that they think they should involve the school authorities, they should, get the school authorities involved.
This is so true. Picking the point of being in Lagos, where a lot of parents are actually really busy. I think I agree with you that now educators have an even greater role to play, especially in Lagos, knowing that many parents are busy, so they don't get to see the children as much as they would want to see the children or they should see the children. So what, can you give us some specific strategies, maybe one or two strategies that you think that teachers can use to support their students to support their mental health in the classroom while they're teaching?
Okay, some of the strategic methods that practical strategies that teachers can use to support the mental health of students. I would want to talk about growing up. It was quite difficult for me to learn because I had challenges socializing. I didn't know how to speak up. I had a very low self-esteem, so I didn't know how to. It was quite uncomfortable for me in class. And also because of the fact that I had challenges academically, where that term of a child being a dullard came from. I struggled with that. I struggled academically. I couldn't, I didn't have good grades. I didn't have good grades growing up. And it now made the teachers and even my, classmates, look at me in a certain way. There's always that, that stigma that comes with children who do not perform well academically, and with that, these children are not comfortable. So first of all, the first practical strategy every teacher can take is, creating a positive learning environment. No child is a dullard. Don't make any child feel like because they are being anxious in class when they ask them a question, or they fidget when they are being called to give a speech or something. They might be struggling with a mental health challenge that you do not know, and instead of making them feel less of themselves, create a positive environment, make them know that they can do better. They can do better than that. And secondly, have inclusive learning environment where you have to involve every child in a learning activity. You know, you don't have to say because this is a brilliant person or that is a brilliant person, then they should be the one to be pushed in any class activity. Involve everybody. Let every child be involved in any classroom activity. Practicalize it. You know, give them a group discussion, give them a group work to do. And in that way, you know, we can actually have a good teaching learning process.
Thank you so much
for
sharing your own personal experience, because it makes a world of difference when we hear from your personal experience. If I can reiterate what you have said about the strategies, creating a positive first and inclusive learning environment. Those are excellent points, Ms. Indu. Thank you so much. Could you